I mean... Why do you think that is?
Scratched my eye last night when so I just put some stuff on it. Hi, good evening, welcome.
I was wondering where you went.
Yeah.
I was like, we're gonna jump in, and we're gonna jump in and save the show.
I went to. Hi. Hi. Good evening.
I'm gonna go now.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome back to the Late Night Playset. There we go. My name is Jay Ryan. Thank you very much for being here. Wearing my favorite Astoria shirt because of our guest this evening. Good evening. It is Tuesday, July 8th, 2025.
Already.
Yeah.
Time to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
I just literally ran from the other. I feel like Letterman. Remember, he used to run through the... Let's see. Our guest this evening is Mr. Justin Scard of Randomland Adventures. I'm so excited. We are going to get into all of the nerdery. We're going to talk about the Goonies. We're going to talk about Disneyland, Randomland, everything. I got a box of stuff you gave me underneath the desk.
I'm just stoked that you said Scarred instead of Scared. I love you so much for that.
2 R's.
Yeah, 2 R's. Who would have thought?
So Justin and I met up at Goonies weekend up in Astoria, and we're going to talk about that and how we all became the bestest of friends ever since.
It's
true. Justin's got a huge YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about that, how you get to have a YouTube channel. How does that all work? I think they give them away, but to make it successful is the hard part, and he's done that. So we'll be talking about that. Goonies, how'd you do it? And there's going to be some playset pop-ins, maybe a little surprise later, perhaps. Perhaps. We'll see.
I don't know what that is, but I'm very excited about it.
Wow.
Well, it's not yet.
Oh.
That was a false...
That's just the Amazon delivery guy.
Right, right. I'm waiting on a cable.
Yeah. Then we can really start.
There we go. There's the camera.
I think you were wearing that shirt the last time I saw you.
I know. No, you were.
That morning.
Yeah. Do you remember the story?
Jake Fratelli was there.
That's true. Robert Dobby.
Yeah.
One of the surviving members of the Profiler.
Yeah.
The other guy just died.
That's crazy.
Wow, we're already ping-ponging around. I bought 2 in Astoria, and then I went on my last day to buy another one.
Really? Because
Yeah.
you're like, this is my favorite shirt.
But it was, they were closed. They're closed on Mondays.
I think that's part of like being on the spectrum or something for me too, because I one time just fell in love with this black and white striped shirt, and then I bought like 20 of them.
So you buy a couple, yeah.
Yeah, and then in my closet was like Doug. You ever seen that cartoon? You know,
Yes.
like
People loved that.
Every outfit was exactly the same. you know.
What was the girl's name on Doug?
Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty
That's
Mayonnaise.
right. That's right. Patty
Yeah.
Mayonnaise.
Come on, who doesn't remember Patty Mayonnaise?
I didn't
Mayonnaise.
apparently. Nicole loved Doug.
Oh,
I liked
that's
the
awesome.
theme song from Doug.
I'm just
I never
so sad
watched.
I never met her, but I'm glad I met you.
Thanks, buddy. What do we got here? Zach Schneider says, "Hi, Justin."
Hi, Zach.
Do you know Zach Schneider?
No, but I do now. Now we're friends.
How
He
was
said hi to
everybody's
me.
weekend? It's been a while since we've all been here. We didn't do a show last week. You guys
Oh,
good?
really?
Yeah. I mean, all right. All right. So there've been some heavy things. I don't want to. Here. Well, maybe.
No, I mean,
should we
listen.
talk about the heavy stuff at the end of the show? Because there's heavy stuff in general. Let's do the heavy stuff at the end, if that's all right.
Okay, that's fine, because I would like to also just put a call out, because we are still looking for the person, so.
So, but there's a couple of those PSA type things.
Sure.
Yeah. She had a. Did you hear about the
Yeah.
pedestrian who just
Yeah.
got? Yeah. That was a friend of hers, unfortunately.
That's crazy.
What was, let's go ahead and.
Yeah, let's do it. So last Sunday night, we had, her name is Tilly, it's Erika Edwards. Tilly is her name. She's a pole instructor at B-Spun and a couple of other places. They had their annual LGBTQ Center fundraiser that she performed at, walked out the door and was hit by a G-Wagon and body was dragged. It was absolutely awful. And it was a hit and run, so we're still looking for the person. So if you're in the wider LA OC area, we are on the hunt for a G-Wagon. It's like charcoal, dark gray, something like that. It was on Sunset and Sierra Bonita, and the person hit her, probably ran her over. We think she was, immediately died, we hope. And they beelined on Gardner, and that was it. And so we're still looking for this person now.
If you have any information, contact LAPD.
West Traffic. It's West Traffic or LA Crime Stoppers, which
Okay.
oddly enough, I called LA Crime Stoppers and it took me to New York. I was like, okay, that's not helpful.
They've farmed out their
but the
own
phone
team.
number
Yeah,
for- yeah.
they've teamed up.
The phone number for West Traffic Division is 213-473-0234, and this is about Tilly Edwards. So we had a memorial at B-Spun last night that was really beautiful. KTLA, I think, was there.
Uh-huh. I definitely saw this on the news. Everybody's talking about it. It's
Yeah.
been on the news multiple days.
Yeah, it just needs to be. So it's shocking, and then it's unimaginable that somebody can do that. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
What time of night? You said it was late.
9:03, and oddly enough, she was born on 9:03, but 9:03 is her official time of death.
Weird.
But literally, she walked out of the studio, and it was immediate. So
sorry.
yeah, but her last thing was doing something she loved and fundraising. So that's nice. of her.
Yeah, people were saying that about. We did Chuck Miller's memorial since we all were here
Yeah.
last together. We saw. I think Paul Kennel's show was the last show, right? And then 2 days later, we did the Chuck Miller memorial. Chuck Miller's an LA staple in the car community. He's been around since the 60s. He was in our group. He was the old Mulholland Racers in the old days, the early 911S registry, that was him. He had a heart attack behind the wheel and probably was dead before the crash, which everyone sort of said, well, wow, that's like the best possible scenario that anyone could imagine for this particular guy, because he was living his life. This is what he did, right?
Yeah.
Driving this old 911. So, there is a little bit of truth to that, but it doesn't really take the sting out anymore. So I'm so sorry for your loss and your whole community.
She and her husband literally just bought a house. He's like surrounded in boxes.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, she was 37, so it's
Starting their life.
yeah.
You don't
Still
know them.
early.
I want to
like
virtually hug
starting
him.
to like that next
Right.
phase.
Yeah.
So
Crazy pants.
yeah.
All right.
So
Well,
we're
so
still
sorry.
looking. So we're still hopeful, even though it's unlikely, but hopeful.
I would hope the person would come forward, because you'd think it's only going to get worse. The
Yeah.
longer you wait, it's
Or
only
someone
going to
they
get
know,
worse.
right? Like someone,
Yeah.
and realistically, I'm trying to like tap into the car community, because like maybe it goes to like get serviced or a chop shop or parts, or somebody knows
Yeah.
somebody and someone's asking for favors.
Oh, because someone's going to need to
Fishy.
repair it. Yeah, that's an interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry. And this is your first time really kind of doing anything?
I went last night, and I actually danced for the first time last night since
Okay.
I was rear-ended. So that was
Oh,
kind of
that's
healing.
not a euphemism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Usually
she is a
it's
sex
me.
coach, but she was rear-ended in her Mini Cooper.
Oh,
yeah,
my gosh.
yeah. So we had a memorial at the time of her Monday night class. And I danced right before that, so that was good. And with these things, the same thing. I was talking about Nicole a lot last night.
Really?
Oh my God, of course.
Yeah.
And just kind of.
Loss, the theme of loss.
And sharing of experiences, and grief manifests in such different ways. And Nicole, it was a lot of like cognitive stuff for me.
Yeah.
And for Tilly, it's a lot of somatic stuff. So like a lot of stuff in my throat and in my chest and in my stomach, which is different than how I grieved for Nicole, which I was way, way closer with Nicole. So it's different, but it's interesting all the different ways that grief manifests. And also, I think there's something more to it because Nicole had her brain was fully there. She was so there. And with Tilly, she was a movement teacher. She was a pole teacher. She literally lives in my body. So it's interesting how these two people and these two tragic incidents are just, living in the body differently.
I can't agree with you that Nicole was fully there,
not fully
so
at
to
the
speak.
end, but-
She was, we can talk about it now. It's been 11 months. I covered a lot. For her in the old days when she was working, and then even later. And I think you all saw me doing it.
Oh yeah.
I think the ruse was not that hard to decipher, but unfortunately she did really get confused a lot, and that's when we would have our only difficulties or differences was usually in those moments. People always think about her physicality. Jay Leno, we were talking about him before the show. They talk about, at least his wife's not in any pain. Nicole's in so much pain, but anyway.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All around. And then also, I didn't make it up to Breakfast Club the other day, but there was a fatality on the Crest on Friday as well, which you guys
I was there for, which was right after I was like, let me go up the mountain.
Yeah.
Let me be with the Carr family. And then that happened.
Yeah.
And on the way home, I wound up following the medical examiner.
I know. All right. I wasn't there. You all know how I feel about this. Respect the Crest is something we started saying a long, long time ago. You have seen members of the Montrose Search and Rescue Team and LA Sheriff Department here on the show saying that that's a good idea, that this road will bite you, that it doesn't matter how good you are. It's the road. It's not meant to be traversed in a certain manner. It's not a racetrack, like they say. So, I wasn't there. I'm not going to comment on it. I don't know any of the parties involved. I think I'm happy about that. I think I'm grateful that I don't know anybody, but I'm so sorry for all of the parties involved because there were 3 parties involved. Yeah. And I think only one walked away. The one is deceased and one's critical. Last I heard from our friend Mike Liam. Part. So it's a shitty situation that could have happened to anyone. It wasn't the person who went off that an innocent bystander is dead, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how fast people were going. It's none of my business to decipher that stuff, but it seemed as though a car crossed the line and hit another car, and then hit another car. And that last car had a fatality. To say that I'm glad this happened is couldn't be furthest from the truth. But when it comes to cause and effect, I'm grateful that a lot of people who haven't had to experience a fatality up there have now, because it's serious shit. And it'll ruin your day, it'll ruin your life. It's not okay to push it over the limit. I did not intend to talk about this tonight, damn you. So that's just my opinion. I'm not telling anybody what to do. The last thing Jay Ryan wants to do is tell anybody what to do, because don't you tell Jay Ryan what to do. So that's why we came up with Respect the Crest in the first place, instead of obey the speed limit, don't cross the line, all the other things that people say. Ours is Respect the Crest because hopefully that means whatever it means to you. A rock can kill you on the crest. A squirrel can kill you on the crest. A snake or a big lizard can kill you on the crest. And I think that people don't really recognize that. This one was another car coming into your lane, can kill you on the crest. Take it easy. That's it. Moving on.
I feel like you had the worst. You chose the worst possible guest today.
Wow.
Because you're like, it's so heavy, and then you got me. It's like,
well, we're gonna even it out. We're gonna even it out.
But that's life, isn't it?
We're gonna unleash all the silliness now. I'm just sitting here like, oh no.
How are the hairs on your arms?
Oh, it's like, oh well. Whatever I was worried about today before I got here, I'm not worried about any of that anymore. Like, oh no, It puts things in perspective, kind of. You're just like, oh,
It's good vibes Breakfast Club. Killing somebody is not good vibes.
My uncle,
Dying is not good vibes.
My Uncle Mike has had stage 4 cancer for years now, and he just keeps surviving. I told him in the beginning, and they said he was gonna, you only got so long to live and all this stuff, and he was telling me over the phone, and I was like, the Grim Reaper's been after you a long time, and you're pretty foxy, right? And he's just been living year after year. He's got the stage 4, and he's still alive.
Keeps on going.
And every time I talk to him, he's like, hey, every day you're breathing is a good day.
Yeah.
And I try to remember that all the time now, So
Nicole,
you hear stories like that, and I don't know any of the people involved, but I'm just sitting here going, "Oh my gosh,"
Yeah,
well,
that's
walk
what I mean.
away with that from that, going like, "Well, what can I take away from that?"
So a bunch of people just trying to enjoy some nature in their cars, on a Friday morning. You don't want to be taken out.
No, my dad, he did touring car racing, right?
Yeah.
And but going to, like, say, Laguna Seca or something and coming away from the track, you have all these guys, like, driving all crazy in their Dodge Vipers or their Porsches or whatever, and he would always say, like, there's a place for that. It's on the track.
Right.
It's on the track. That's where you drive.
You
like
can
that.
usually find yellow car in the right-hand lane
Yeah.
most times on the highway
Yeah.
because, like, you go, whatever. Like you said, there's a place for everything.
Yeah.
What kind of cars was your dad racing, and how come I didn't know about that until
He
today?
was racing an Eagle Talon, which is like the car that nobody knows
The
about.
wedge or the round one? Because they were,
It was around.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was like mid-90s. So
Right, but there were three. So there were three generations.
Yeah,
there was the
95 or 96, so that was the...
It was 95 or 96. He had a
there,
90.
there were three models then. There was the ES or whatever, the regular 4-cylinder. Then there was the turbo. Then
No,
there was
this
the
was-
turbo all-wheel drive.
Yes.
TSI.
And I think it had the TSI on it.
Oh.
With a little purple logo, I think.
Usually
on
it was
but
it.
I think.
The later ones had a brighter logo. Yes.
Because first he had a little black and white one, but it was an automatic, and my mom had like got it for him, and it was sort of like then he switched it the next year for the black turbo and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then it slowly like door panels would disappear and like pieces of the dashboard.
100%.
Then the roll bar came, and then the huge loud. Then it wasn't street legal, and then he got out of that and sat in the driveway forever. And my cousin Josh, who had begged for it since he was like a kid, like a little, I'm talking 5, 6, 7 years old, like, oh, Uncle Greg, I want that car, to my dad, right? And so finally they eventually my brother and my dad kind of gave it to him. He's like fully restored the car. He's up in like Adelanto racing it around, getting tickets and stuff, bribing the guy, the smog.
The Eagle. So it still is
yeah,
out there.
it's still out there, just
Making
running.
miles.
Yeah.
Well, let's go find it.
I know. Now I want to ride in it because I never got to ride in it back in the day. I never got to drive that car because I didn't fit in it. Because it's a fixed seat, right? The whole harness thing.
Yeah.
And I'm way longer than the rest
Is
of
this
my
microphone
family.
bothering you? You're trying
No.
to talk in front of it.
No.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, cool.
hello. So,
Did you watch the Pee Wee doc?
yeah, no.
You really haven't?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
I
What
was
are you
going
waiting
to
for?
after I was just because I was in Florida when it came on. I was at Disney World, and I was like, I know I'll cry. Like
Cry?
hard, right?
You're gonna-
So I was like, I'm gonna wait till I go home, and then I haven't really been home since then. I had the Goonies
Oh, that's
thing.
right.
I went on a trip with my
So
dad.
that was my
Almost
answer when
watched
we
it
were.
last night, and I was like, I don't want to watch it and then be crying on Jay's show.
Didn't
So
we
I
talked
put
about
it
this in
on.
Astoria? I hadn't seen it either.
Yeah.
It was the
So
first.
you watched it?
I've seen it maybe 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
Now. I keep
Oh,
putting
God.
it on in the
That's what's
background
going to
because
happen.
it's my favorite thing in the world currently.
I love Paul.
It makes
Reubens.
me so happy. It's him just talking to camera, which is what we all want.
Yeah.
him
Yeah, we
just
just want
talking to
you
us
to
through there.
talk.
Hey! And then telling all this behind the scenes stuff from this creative environment that you and I would have thrived in. Every single person
Yeah.
here would have thrived
You
in
ever
that
see the
environment.
Wayne White
building all the
documentary?
physical sets and all that stuff.
Did you ever see that Wayne White documentary where it talks about his part in doing it, like the artist?
No.
But, so I've seen that documentary and
Who's
all
Wayne
about,
White?
He's a guy. He does like those big paintings. It'll be like a landscape painting from a thrift shop, and then he put the letters in it, so like say "F you" or something. But he did all the puppets for Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Oh, no kidding.
And he didn't
Well,
know
they
how to
talk
make
about that.
puppets, so he just randomly was just.
So he's
making
probably in
stuff.
this, and I just didn't.
Yeah,
realize
for
it.
sure
I
he is.
recognize his name from it.
But
Really?
he's like, so I've seen that, but that whole environment.
his name
is always-
again?
Wayne White. I hope
There's
I'm
a
getting
part
that
in
right.
it where
Unless I'm getting
Pee
it
Wee
wrong.
goes when they first approved Pee Wee's Playhouse and they greenlit the show
Yeah.
and they said you can do
In
whatever
New
you
York,
want.
right?
And at
Yeah.
first.
The first
but
year.
he said he described it that they kept writing drawings for the sets and whatever, and he kept being like, "This is why don't you guys just hire so and so?"
I think it was Gary.
Gary does sound right.
Gary, what was his?
She just watched it yesterday or
Yeah,
2 days
I-
ago.
I
Yeah.
just didn't- I met Paul once, and I played it so. Oh God!
Tell me how you met. I met him one time as well.
So my buddy is a friend of his because of Knott's Berry Farm. So he worked at Knott's forever. He's worked with Halloween Haunt forever, and Pee Wee would always, Paul would always come to to haunt, and Elvira was always hosting, and they have the same
Oh, that's
management.
right.
They were buddies and all this.
Well, she was, yeah,
Yeah.
they used to do live comedy together
So
at the Groundlings.
This guy Jeff, shout out Jeff Tucker. He used to kind of be Pee Wee's like VIP guide almost when he would go to Knott's, and I would beg him for
So he doesn't
years.
get swarmed and mugged and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. So I
Mobbed.
beg him for years, like, please, just sometime, just tell me when he's there. I got to meet Paul Reubens. I was like, I'll give him a salute and walk away even, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So one time he gave me the heads up. I'm not going to tell you who or where or how. Somebody's going to be here. So I'm like, go to the Knott's Berry Farm. I'm wandering around. I find the two of them and I walk up. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? I have my little boysenberry tasting card or whatever that they gave me. And Paul Reubens kind of looking at them. Oh, it was nice to meet you. I'm just talking to Jeff, like trying to play it so cool, right? And because he's got the bucket hat on, you know, you could
He's
just
trying not to be
If
recognized.
you grew up in Southern California and you see someone with the bucket hat, you know, it's like, oh, no pictures, leave him alone. So
That's hilarious.
He's sitting there kind of like, well, what are we gonna do? And I go, oh, actually, I got this tasting card, right? I gave him my tasting card. It gives you free food or whatever. You can try everything for free now. And he's like, oh, thanks, whatever. Cool. And then right before I go to leave, I shook his hand. He was so much taller than I thought he was gonna be. He was like tall and long and skinny. He was so. I thought, you think Pee Wee, you think of a little
Am I
guy.
taller than you? Because
I don't know. How tall are you?
I didn't. 6'2".
Yeah, you're a little bit taller than
Okay.
me, I think.
How
Like,
tall would you say Pee Wee is, and then we'll look it up.
I feel like he was I feel like I was eye to eye with him. So I feel like he was at least 6 feet.
I would have said 5'9". I don't know why I said that. I didn't think he was that tall.
Maybe I just
maybe
thought
I'm
he was
just
going to
taller
be
than
5
you.
foot or something, and so it just caught me off
Yeah,
guard.
maybe.
So I play it cool, right? And at the very end, I go, I just want to say really quick before I go, you are a massive influence on like me and everything I've ever done in my life, and I just want to say thank you. And he was like, oh, thank you very much. He stood up and shook my hand and whatever, and I left. I was like, whew, I got away with it. I did it, right? I played it so cool. And then my friend Noel, who used to play the mayor of Calico, right? He'd walk around. He was a character in Ghost Town. He'd walk around, the mayor of Calico. He's like, what did you talk? Did you get a picture with him? Did you talk to him? I said, well, I talked to him. I shook his hand. I didn't get a picture. I wasn't going to bother him for a picture. And he's like, wow, that's not acceptable. Let's go get a picture in character,
my
right?
God.
So he goes backstage to wherever Paul is with his a couple guys from Gotham or something, some other celebrity people that I don't know. Gets him out of the commissary to drag him
Oh
back
my
on
God.
stage and goes, this young man here wants a picture.
No.
And I was going, no, it's really okay. And then
Hopefully, from your experience
Oh,
with him, he
oh.
would know that this was not you.
Oh,
this was Calico
no, and then
Jim.
Paul's like, oh, well, I'd have to look in a mirror before I ever thought about taking a picture, and kind of like excused himself out of it. So then Noel's going to, he was a jerk to you. And I'm like, no,
Oh
he
my
wasn't.
God.
He wasn't a jerk
Oh my
to me,
God.
So, but I guess later, Paul felt so bad, so he told our mutual friend, he was like, oh, tell him he can come. I'm doing a meet and greet thing for like Monster Palooza or one of the, and tell him he can come and he can cut the line, he can get a picture with me
Oh
and whatever.
my God.
And I was out of town and never got to do it.
But that's
that was
so
sweet.
awesome.
And then after he passed away, that same friend, Jeff Tucker, he wrote and directed The Hanging, this big show, came back at Not Scary Farm, and he asked me to do Pee Wee's voice for the show. So I was like so honored.
You do a good
so
Pee Wee,
I did
I heard,
it,
yeah.
I can't do it that well now.
was
My
gonna
voice
say.
is still lost from Astoria, but
So, oh wow, that's weird. So, pretty cool thing about this documentary is you find out where some of those voices came from.
like his little like.
Correct.
Wow.
Some very specific ones that you know and that you've already done here tonight.
like
we
stories
find out
from
where
his
they came
like
from.
childhood and stuff like that.
Just from his life, yeah.
There's a voice that I always do, like, wow, and that came from like my friend Chris Warren on tour together. I think about this all the time.
Is
Like
that
every time I
Pee-wee?
do a little voice, no, it's
That sounds-
it was my friend Chris
Yes, Jerry
trying to
Lewis.
do Pee Wee,
Oh, but he was doing
who
Jerry
I
Lewis.
always felt like was trying to do Jerry Lee
Lewis, not Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah. To jump around more, I just stayed at the Fontainebleau in Miami Beach,
Oh.
and I stayed, because it's like Goldfinger was shot there.
Yeah, I
Oh,
used to
no
go
shit.
there when I was
So,
younger.
yeah,
We used to
so
stay
I
there
was
all the time.
Whoa.
with my
Oh,
parents.
really? So the Goldfinger Hotel, right? But then I found out when we were on the way
Expect
to
me
the
to
hotel, I
talk?
was like,
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to
die.
die.
They filmed the Bellboy there, though. That Jerry Lewis movie.
Yeah.
You ever see that? Of
course I
They filmed
did.
that whole movie in the Fontainebleau. So then I didn't even care about, like James Bond. I'm running around the whole hotel like, oh my gosh, it's right there, the lobby, the thing. This is where the VW Bug comes. He takes everything out of
Yeah.
the trunk, takes the engine out.
So, refresh my memory. That's after Martin and Lewis, right? That's only Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, it's just
no
Jerry
Dean
Lewis.
Martin.
I
Yeah,
think
okay.
that might have been, was that his first
Solo.
big solo movie?
Could be.
I think so. It was pretty early. It was all
Yeah.
black and white and the whole thing.
There's the Disorderly, Orderly, and
Yeah.
all those other
Yeah,
ones.
so
That's shot
good.
at the Beverly Hills Mansion. What's the Beverly
Was
Hills
it?
Mansion? Yeah.
I didn't-
What's the one in the big?
Beverly Hills Hotel?
No,
the
no,
chateau?
no. There's like
no,
a
the Greystone,
Greystone
yeah.
Manor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gosh, that makes so much sense. I never put that together. Gilmore Girls, though. Greystone, come on. Batman Forever. Let's go.
You like the Gilmore Girls? Nicole
course.
loved the Gilmore
You
Girls.
gotta love the Gilmore Girls.
See, for me,
Rory Gilmore.
it was.
I've never even seen a single one.
For me, the only reason she got me to watch it at one point, you know, when she was sick, I would do anything for her. But we were watching it. Well, because that's not something I would have done on my own.
That's so funny.
But I was taken with it. It was Winter River, Connecticut, or whatever the name of the place is. Is Hazard County from my childhood. It's Dukes of Hazzard. It's the same little block on Warner Brothers.
Yeah, because it's all. Well, for me, it was like, hey, that's from what's it called? The thing with the capital P. It stands for.
Yeah, and there's Cooter's Garage over there, and there's the Growing Pains house in the corner.
What's it called? The Music Man. God, that took me forever to get out of my brain. The Music Man was all filmed in Stars Hollow too.
So you Stars Hollow.
Yeah.
Winter River is Beetlejuice. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are you celebrate history.
Oh, I love history. That's like.
But you're a YouTuber.
I don't know why I love history. Just.
I do too.
That's
Well,
my
I do
favorite
too.
thing.
I'm just saying it seems anti.
Well, the YouTuber thing is so weird and accidental for me.
I want to know how it started. Look,
It
I
was-
have
Do you wanna
actual
answer the
questions on
questions
the.
real quick?
Yeah, I
So
do.
Gary Panter was the artist, or is the artist, because I think he's still
Gary
That's what he goes, guys.
Panter.
Why don't you
Yes.
just hire Gary
Gary
Panter?
Panter. And Paul Reubens. Do we want a last call on what his height was? What
was it?
What were you guys thinking?
He said 6. I said
It
5'9".
had to be somewhere between that, like 5'9", 10, and 6
5'10".
foot. Was it?
He
Okay.
was 5'10".
I felt like I was eye
Pretty
to
good.
eye to him, and I just didn't expect that. When he stood up, I thought he was going to stand up and be here on me, and he was looking at me like,
Maybe
"Ah."
he was wearing those tequila shoes.
You just think of Pee Wee
that's
being
right.
little, being Pee Wee, you
Tequila
know.
shoes. The tequila shoes.
Oh, and his arms were so long and skinny.
He super skinny. So he
Yeah.
used to host a show. This is very short-lived and shows. This will tell my age. He used to do host a game show called You Don't Know Jack.
Oh yeah.
And they used to do
What?
it over at CBS Television City in the Catalina building.
How did I not know that?
So
at
I
all?
met him over there once when he was the host of that show. He was outside smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Was he nice?
Super
He's
nice.
just like the nicest person ever. And then there's another mutual friend I have, this guy Tiki Tony. He's a cool tiki cartoon artist, and he carves stuff and everything. And
Tiki Tony.
he got followed by Paul. And then Adam, the Woo, and I, we did the Pee-wee's Big Adventure filming locations in like 2011 or 12. No one had done it because no one had found most of the spots.
Oh.
They were showing the biker bar and they were showing the wrong place on the same
Oh.
road,
Oh,
similar
wow.
place.
Yeah, you
So I
told me
found
the
the real
story.
biker bar. I found
Which
that-
is it looks
it's
just
on
like
the
the
old
other
road,
one.
yeah. And so if you're going up the old road from the 5,
Santa
up there-
Clarita.
yeah, in Santa Clarita, there's one that obviously was the same architect, the same time period, one little mini motel type of thing, right, with a little store. And it wasn't the right one. Everyone was shooting the wrong one. There's a hill behind it, so there's like you could tell it's not the right
Sure.
one. So I just kept going up the old road and found the real one. And so we went in there, and there's a little Mexican market now. We
Oh my
asked the
God.
lady, has anybody ever been in here and asked about Pee-wee? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You guys are
Did they really
crazy."
shoot the scene inside that place, or
I
was
don't
it just
know,
the
'cause
exterior?
It's so small. It's like the size of this.
But it was in the movie
So
too.
you're like-
he hits his head on the beam
That's
in
what
the
we were.
movie,
Yeah,
and
that's what we
they
were trying to
talked about
ask
it.
her. Like, who builds a ceiling
No-
to a set?
nobody.
Right.
Nobody,
So you're
exactly.
like, ah. So, and then we found the spot where they jump off the train. That's in Oxnard because you can see the power plant back there.
Dude, you told me that was like a block from the train
Yeah,
Back to
really
the Future.
close to Back to the Future Part 3, where the train hit. So we found all these spots. We filmed that video, and this is like, years ago when YouTube was like, isn't that for cat videos, and stupid people? And but Paul watched it, and he left a comment on it that was like, oh, this took me back. It was great reliving all this
you
and
kidding
stuff.
me?
And so I just always thought, I'm gonna
Did you
get
pin that comment?
Oh, he did. Yeah, it's on Adam's video. But I always thought and then he liked a couple of my Instagram posts over the years. I was like, I'm gonna get that follow. I'm gonna get that coveted. I never did.
From him?
From him. That was like my dream.
I have a
But
number.
Tony did. My friend Jeff knew him. So we had mutual friends, and I never got in.
Similar.
But nobody knew he was sick.
Since I've been posting stuff, well, we know a tremendous amount of people in the comedy world
Yeah.
because of Nicole and the show and whatever. A lot of friends, once I started posting stuff, said, "Oh, what I'll miss most is all of my birthday texts. Every
Yeah.
single year, I'd get a
Same, I
birthday
got
text.
that one.
I know like a dozen different people who got
Oh, and
who
Charles
were on
Phoenix.
the list.
So
She's in his
Charles
last
Phoenix
movie.
too was also. I think he has the same management as Elvira and Paul and
Cassandra Wilson?
Peters.
Peters.
Yeah, and then after he passed away, he was reposting all those birthday things that Paul had done, little videos and stuff. It's like so
Oh, I
sweet.
love
He
it.
was the sweetest person ever. And
Ever, yeah.
I got to meet him that one time, so I should be grateful for that actually. And he watched me in Adam's video running around and.
Dude, that's the coolest.
I almost broke my neck pretending to flip off the bike and over on Oxnard or Oxley in Pasadena or whatever.
So was the Warner Ranch still there?
Yeah, we didn't get on the Warner Ranch.
Okay.
But we did get back into Warner Brothers. Adam snuck in there. I don't know how, and filmed like
Just
where
follow Milton Berle telling
where
a joke,
the seance
right?
was, and where Tim Burton has his little,
Yeah.
It's like I want to go to Warner and film there so bad, but they don't allow you to film on the VIP tour, and I heard they're cracking down now. It's like I just want to go film Stars Hollow.
It's a
and
union.
Gotham City,
It's
the
a
City Hall.
It's a union lot. So you can't just go do
Right,
stuff.
so is Universal, but I feel like
know,
I've
they're
been back
way-
there with people who are kind of like, yeah, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But Warner seems to be more locked down.
It's smaller for one. Universal's 410
I never
acres, so
got
it's
to go
kind of
to
like
the ranch.
nobody can see everything.
Yeah.
Warner is like getting smaller every day as they sell off parts, so it's just.
You know why I
it's
want to
kinda-
go there so bad and film is because you know where Dee Snider's on the hood. He's like, gonna burn in hell.
Yeah, of
coming down that
course.
street and the commissary is right
Yeah.
there, or whatever. They filmed that other building was the nightclub in the Rocketeer. It was the South Seas Club.
Oh,
And
really?
I love the Rocketeer,
Sure.
dude. It's like the greatest unappreciated movie of
Yeah.
the '90s. It's like so good.
I worked with that guy who played the Rocketeer, and he was really
What?
nice. He was a
Oh God, what's it? Billy Connolly.
Billy. No, that's the
No,
British
Billy
guy.
Connolly is,
But it is Billy, 100% Billy. But he
Campbell.
was a. Billy Campbell. That's right, Billy
I
Campbell.
think it's
yeah.
Campbell.
He was
Yeah.
on the final season of The Practice way back when, but he was
Jennifer
on for a
Connelly,
little
That's why I
bit.
was mixing it up.
And he.
You met the Rocketeer, dude.
We worked together for a few weeks, a
You
few
met
months.
Cliff
But he was really cool. But he was a tequila connoisseur, and at the time I was a drinker, so we would.
Oh. Well, where was my invite?
This was 20 years ago.
Daryl says hi, Justin.
Hi, Daryl.
Here, let's get to some of these on here just while we're doing it. Jeff
forgot
Cohen,
this
yikes,
live.
this took a dark turn. I know, sorry about that. It really
I
did.
think I felt.
You
I've
know
never
what?
been here
We
before.
got it out of the way early. Bring on the hyperness of Justin.
Oh, it's Kristen. I know her. She's from Oklahoma.
Who's her
Shout out to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Is that where she is? Tulsa?
Yeah, shout out to Tulsa.
Eagle Talon was a great little car, especially that all-wheel drive one. That all-wheel drive one ripped.
Hey, Back to
Oh,
the Future
that's
Instagram
cool.
right there.
That's very cool. Thanks, Back to the Future IG. Calico Jim said, tell you hi.
Noel was the
see.
best, by the way. He was the best freaking.
Is
He
that-
was the deputy mayor of Calico, and he was like the greatest character. I think his dad was a big time old TV show director. I think he animated on The Simpsons. And
What's the last name?
Curdy. Oh, Roosevelt's is the shirt. Look at that. Just talking about that.
Oh, okay. What's the last name of the person you? I can't keep up. This
I
is
can't
crazy.
think of Noel's last name right now.
Oh, okay.
Dang it. But his dad had directed like all these old
The
TV
Rocketeer was
shows,
fantastic.
and he was an animator on The Simpsons, and then for a while he was the mayor of Calico.
Can
And
I,
he's just
uh,
like the greatest. He's Ghostbuster Noel now on YouTube, I think.
It's 5:30. Can we do a playset pop-in? Let's see who it is this evening. Oh, all the way from Canada.
Oh,
We've
no
got
way.
Brandon on the line.
Dude, look at this shirt.
Yes!
Did you put that shirt on because we were talking about Pee-wee?
No, I had it on already.
No way. Brandon,
I wore
happy
the perfect
belated
shirt.
birthday, dude.
What?
Thank you very much, Justin.
Happy birthday, brother.
Oh, happy
Thanks, Jay.
birthday.
I'm flying up there.
Thank you very much.
I hope you guys are gonna be home for a while because I'm gonna just show up.
Yeah, I heard your shout out in your last video, your 40th anniversary video.
I was so bummed, dude, because I was so I was running around for Back to the Future 40th anniversary, everybody, and went to the Universal, I went to Marty's house, I went everywhere, and nobody was anywhere. And the people at Marty's house, the next door neighbors, like, you're like the only one that showed up today. And I was like, I wish I had my Goonies crew. That's when I texted you was that day.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking of
You
Brandon.
said I keep driving through your neighborhood back and forth. 'cause
Yeah,
it was- everything's
thinking
around
about
Universal
Brandon
Studios.
and Adam. I was like, man, I wish I could get those guys back together because those guys get it, right?
Yeah,
I was
we
like,
would
we'd
have
be
done a
having
whole
so
thing.
much fun. We would have been like running around and screaming and just. Oh. Jay would have been meeting directors randomly, and
Well-
pulling them into the group.
Stop that.
I'm sure it's because us out of towners were just all there for Fan Fest and did all the locations.
I know. And that was
For
the thing. It was so
Fan Fest.
disappointing, like at the studio, because the tram didn't even go down there. And I was like, well, we
Yeah.
kind of just had Fan Fest. Like they kind of gave us everything. But you guys have to drive me in the car. I know you don't
Yes.
drive the car, but I want to ride in that car.
Oh, I mean, it runs and drives. It's just
The tires, I know.
40-year-old tires, yeah.
I know. The tires. I'll risk it. Come on, Brandon.
Yeah, no, of course.
I want to ride in Jay's car too.
Oh, that's a piece of cake.
Oh, yeah.
That one's easy. Where you want to go?
Anywhere, dude. We'll go anywhere. We'll go to Canner's. Oh.
Much like your dad's, it's more of a race car. So like driving around in traffic isn't really fun. You gotta
No.
get out someplace.
Dude, I look at freaking Brandon. I'm just so excited. It's like a little
See?
Goonies reunion. I feel like we're all bonded for life. Like we should have
So
all
that's-
got a tattoo or
This
something.
is one of the things. This is one of the things on the card. How does a group of random strangers become like buds for life over a long weekend?
I don't know.
Because we all did.
It was crazy.
Yeah, Jay and I unpacked this a a few weeks ago on our episode, and like I was just telling the Goonies story again on Friday to people who had never heard it, and I got goosebumps telling the story.
Yeah,
like it's
totally.
still affecting me. It's still
Yeah.
living in me in a weird way.
It was, dude, it was so... I was telling Jay, it was like, I had never met you, and I had never met Jay. I knew Adam for years, and I'd met your dad before like 5 minutes or whatever, and then we show up to this thing, and I thought you guys had all just known each other for years. I don't know. It was like perfect. It was this perfect, weird...
So what, you asked them something like, oh, how long have you
Yeah,
known?
that night I was like, oh, how long have you guys all known Jay? And they're like, I don't know, we met him today. I'm like, what? Or we met him last night. No, we met him last night. We had fish tacos. We were like, what? What? Where was I? You know. And it was like, I don't know, we had like the best time, and I feel like everybody else in town was kind of jealous because we were all just having the best like time of our lives for some reason.
Do you know what? We were living in we were in our own little bubble.
It's
and
weird when you find other people that are determined to like have a good time,
we all were.
and we just did. It was
Yeah.
the best.
It
was the best. I don't know how much coffee we drank either.
Oh, a lot.
Probably too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. Oh, and then the other thing is I'm just finishing my second of the Astoria espresso chocolate covered beans.
The beans. I got the can of beans. I don't have a grinder, so I need to
Oh,
get a
that's
grinder
good.
so I can. I
But
still am saving it up.
If anyone is going to Astoria anytime soon, I'm in need of more beans.
Yeah.
I've run out of my chocolate covered espresso beans.
What's it called, Brandon? Astoria. Is it
Astoria Coffee
Company?
Company? Yeah.
Coffee roasters, I think.
Coffee roasters.
I've heard that as well. I've seen both. I
Coffee
don't know which
company.
one's
Maybe
right.
you're
They
right,
could both
Jay.
be
Maybe
right.
it is coffee company.
You don't have the can with you in your physical
No.
media room there?
That's in the garage.
Oh, of course.
Oh, right.
Daryl
The other
popped in.
thing is, I was at the Gamble House, right? So I'm looking at the garage, thinking of the facade, and thinking about the movie. And then I remember that Brandon built a replica of Doc's big model of Courthouse Square, like
Yeah.
out of the milk bottles and stuff. And
Yeah.
he goes, with the rag and the whole thing. And I was like, freaking Brandon, dude. I need Brandon down. Where's Brandon? Where's Jay? Where's everybody?
I watched Adam's video of him going around Brandon's garage and whatever. Not only did he build that, but he built the whole all the clocks
I
and
know.
the dog
He's
food
crazy.
machine.
Brandon, you're a maniac. You need to be down here. You'd be working in Hollywood with
like,
Jay.
Yeah, I wish.
He's like, I'm good.
No, I wish. That's like my secret dream, is to be
Oh,
in
you
the
can
prop
do it, dude.
department.
Yeah, to be clear, also, I'm unemployed, so
Set-
let's.
Yeah.
Let's get Jay some work
Hollywood
first.
is not working.
Let's
work-
get Jay some work, and then we'll get Brandon in through Jay.
I'm working on that other
Yeah.
thing that
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
about. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Well, I'm also unemployed technically, so.
Well, so that's another question we'll get into. How on earth you get a successful YouTube page going? Because you literally go to Disneyland for a job every day, and I would like to know how to do that.
It's hard now. Now everybody's doing it, right? Now there's TikTok and all this stuff, but you just had to be there 15 years ago, I guess.
I'm looking at everybody's pages because Brandon's got a page I'm spending time on. Like I
Yeah.
went down the rabbit hole on his YouTube page
Brandon,
because
I
I'm into
couldn't.
all
I
of the
looked
stuff.
at it and I was like, I can't. It's too deep. Brandon, it's too deep. Brandon's the kind of one of the. Do you ever meet somebody that you really love? You're like, man, I really love this person. You find out they're so talented and so skilled that you also kind of hate them.
Yep,
That's Brandon.
nailed it.
He's like so good at everything, and he's so smart and articulate. He's like talking to everything. And then Brandon's like 10 years younger than me. His dad is like 10 years older than me. So I was like right in the middle where I felt like both of them are my buddies.
Yeah,
And I was like, it's this weird
Yeah.
thing where I'm with both generations. Like, hey, I'm still hip.
that's right, and you're bringing them closer together.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty close.
I know. I only wish they were nicer.
Yeah.
That's just the only.
Yeah,
That's the one
sorry,
bummer.
we're
is they're
working
just
on it.
I'm politer.
some of the nicest Canadians I've ever met.
I want to pet that mini horse they've got. They got a mini
You have
horse.
a mini horse?
What's a mini horse? How come?
Yeah.
What?
Like a miniature horse. Like
How
a
did
little.
that not
It was
come
a
up
pony
last
when I was a kid. They called it a pony.
No. Like
No,
a
this is a miniature horse. His name is Peanut.
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 Oh,
Aw.
that's cute.
That's like
Yeah.
my dream. I've never
His,
pet a mini
uh,
horse.
his full name is Peanut Jones Jr.
Oh.
How long does this
Who's
show
Peanut
go?
Jones Senior?
Can it just go as long as we want it to?
I mean,
Because
it
Brandon's
certainly
here now.
has
It's
in the
like,
past.
We just want to talk to Brandon for hours.
Yeah.
It's so freaking cool. I thought about it and I was like,
Justin,
what?
I already had an episode. This one's about you. I just wanted to say hi.
Well, I thought about it. I thought about calling. Like, I was like, man, I should start texting everybody. Like, hey, what are you guys gonna do for Back to the Future 40? And then I remember Adam was in France, so I was like, what's no point?
Oh, right.
You know, I was like, Adam will be gone. And then I didn't know if you were here. I'm glad you're here. I didn't know you were here until I texted you that day. You're like, you should do the podcast. I was like, okay, but I didn't know you were around.
Yeah. Well,
You were like so well because your posts might have been like backdated.
I do
or something,
later,
but
man.
They were, yeah, me too. So I was just like seeing posts. I'm like, is he still gone? Because I remember talking to you in a story of the last day. I was like, so what's I'm leaving. What's next for you? We were like the last two left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're leaving? You're like, yeah, probably leaving today too, whatever. So then I was like, I got to leave now because if I don't leave now, I'm going to be here all day. I left.
Well, that happened to me.
And then, like, for the next 2 days, you're still posting for my story. And I was like, I should have stayed. I didn't think if anyone had stayed, I would have stayed. But I thought everyone was leaving, so I took off.
I had such a good setup there with our good friend Rich at the Short Circuit
Rich.
House,
Shout
who
out
hooked
Rich.
it, who really hooked my situation up.
He's like
I
the
didn't.
sweetest guy ever.
You guys didn't understand this about me because we all met at the Goonies thing, but you didn't get that I wasn't actually there for the Goonies thing. I got invited by the city of Astoria and everybody in it that I met the previous time say, "Oh, come back for the Goonies thing." It was just an excuse to come back and visit.
Was it for the car show?
No, I just can't. It was an excuse. Oh, Jay, you like the Goonies? Oh, we did all this nerd stuff together last time. Come on back. We'll do it again
It
for
did
the
feel
anniversary.
like you knew everyone in that whole town somehow.
I know.
I was like,
feels
do
that
you
way to
live
me
here?
too.
And you're like, no, I live in freaking, Hollywood. I'm like, what?
That's Jay, though. That's who you are.
I don't think it's me. I think it's Astoria in this case. I mean, okay, maybe you're right. I get
It's
your
a little
point.
bit about
You are a lovable guy. I love you.
Thank you. I'm working on it. I'm working on being. Some people find me very lovable. Some people not so.
Some people find me very lovable, and then others hate me.
That's great. That's why.
There's a lot of the latter.
I find these days that I am just very. We talked about this in the green room. When you go through some heavy shit.
Yeah.
When you're done with it, you don't have room for any.
What were we
bullshit.
saying? It's like you don't have the energy for barriers anymore or BS.
You said something about meeting me, and it was like, wow, everything's just raw and unfiltered. That's how you are. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you met me at that point in my life.
I felt like
but
you were
for
a kindred spirit. Oh, we were talking about it in there, and I felt like Jay was a kindred spirit because he just had the bomb go off in his life. And when that happened to me, I got divorced and kind of lost my house and kid and everything for a while. I had no job, nothing, living back on my parents' floor, nowhere to go, nothing to do. And I remember in that time in my life, I was just so open because you don't have the energy for niceties and barriers. And so I just meet people and then just be telling them like the most raw. And that's how you were. You're like,
if you ask
my
the
wife
question,
just
I'll give you the
passed
real
away and this
answer.
and that. And I just immediately hugged you. And I felt like from that minute, I was like, ah.
I think generally my move is I go, do you want the truth? Somebody will ask a question, I'll be like, do you want the truth? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. I'm like,
down here
all right,
they don't.
get ready.
Welcome to
Down
it.
here they don't.
Hold
But
on.
Astoria, there's places like traveling around the country. Everywhere is so different than New York or LA. There's really good people here too, but it's harder to get. I feel like it's harder to get through all the weird layers with people here. When you're in the small towns like that, and you have a story like yours or what I was going through, people just like they don't just open their hearts or whatever, say nice things. They like open their doors to you, like stay and come. You got to meet my cousin. He had a tragedy too, or whatever. And all of a sudden you're bonding with people.
If you have a life implosion, that is something to bond over.
I think something that's interesting, because I am New Yorker born and raised, and now I live here. And I think it's actually the people from the small towns that think you're supposed to be like that in these big cities
You know what?
that create that. Because the locals,
You're right.
New Yorkers and Angelinos, we will fucking do anything.
You're right, because I was just telling somebody was visiting me from Florida, my friend Maddie. Shout out to Maddie, and I was telling her, you know what it is? I go, it's not the people from here.
Yeah.
Like in LA's case, LA is mostly full of transplants. It's the people who move here to be something. They're the ones with the attitude.
Yeah.
Actually, I told a guitar player that had moved down here from Fresno years and years ago, and he's like, I don't get it. You guys are so nice and humble, but everywhere else we go, all the other bands I talk to in LA, they're all like stuck up and whatever. And I was like, dude, that's because we grew up here where we could see Universal. We know where the real movie stars are. We know we're not anything. It's all the people who came here and they're faking it till they make it. I go, and they're all nice
people. We
people.
just don't care.
Yeah.
We're like,
That's
I see
true.
Michelle Pfeiffer every day. I don't give a shit.
That's-
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Like, I
That's
got
another
places
thing about
to
New
be.
York.
We have places to be, things to do.
I don't think people you know how people say people in New York are rude? I don't think they're rude.
Straightforward.
They're just really honest. They don't
Yeah.
care about you unless they have a and I kind of like that.
I
Whenever
like-
I go to
I
New
like-
York, I kind of like how people just like they don't have time for any BS.
I like knowing where you stand with people, and I
Yeah.
found that in New York, you definitely it's more authentic.
Wouldn't you rather have somebody just straight up say like, I don't like you, I don't like
Yeah,
your
and I'm
face."
not going to help you with this project or whatever this
nah,
deal,
I don't
whatever.
feel like
Instead
doing
of
that.
out here, they're
LA
like, yeah,
is like,
sounds
oh,
great.
we'll get together, we'll do coffee, we'll
I
do
don't
whatever.
want
It's
it.
Yeah,
horseshit.
it never happens.
No, it's horseshit.
Yeah.
Horseshit. Love it.
Everybody's like competing here. It feels like in
Well,
a different kind of way. And
they're all-
in New
everyone's
York,
looking
it feels
for
like everyone's just trying to survive. They're
Everyone's
just trying to
looking
get
for
through the day, dude. Hey, that's
Allie
the love
wants
of
to
my
say,
life
Justin,
right there.
hello, it's Allie.
Yeah,
All right, hi, Allie.
Allie.
Hope you're feeling well. You guys are a pair.
Yeah.
And then our last guest who was here the other day has celiac as well. Although he has bone cancer as well, so I guess pick your battle.
I hope I. Well,
He's got some things happening.
Saber Schematics, the kid wanted to get one from the 4th of July sale. Settled on the clone meme t-shirt.
He's talking about the shirt right there. Those Roosevelt shirts, they're nice.
Oh, that's what you were saying.
I was totally
before.
anti these shirts when I first saw how everybody was wearing them in Disney parks. I'm not going to follow that trend, right?
Oh, it
I'm one of
happens.
those. I'm a contrarian,
Yeah,
you know?
me too. Well, I don't think I'm a contrarian, but it turns out.
It turns out,
Right.
yeah, that I am. So then I spilled some, like, sunscreen on my black t-shirt. I was like, and I grabbed one of these shirts. I've just been wearing them ever since. They're so nice.
But I love that you didn't
wanna
give me
touch
shit
it.
for buying multiple of something
No.
I found and liked
No.
because I loved the design
No,
so
I
much. I go,
bought
this
one.
won't be around forever.
And I bought like 12 of these shirts.
100%.
Wait, is
That's-
it like
that's how I
soft
am.
or something?
Yeah, I feel it. It's like it's like space agey. So when I was in Florida, I was like, it
Oh, that
breathes.
is nice. Oh, you know what? That's
I don't know
the
what the
like
hell it's made out
anti-sweat
of.
stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what it's
People
made
in
out
parks,
of.
they get sweaty and stinky.
It's great. It's like Kunu Flex or whatever. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
Roosevelt's.
like
is
Quick
the
Dry or
company.
whatever.
Yeah. So now I just want all the
Surfwear.
shirts.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
It's
It's
like
awesome.
a fishing. It's like a fishing.
And today I'm wearing this. you know.
I heard it. I heard it. It was so wild. Totally wasn't not expecting to make these lifelong friends and awesome acquaintances.
Oh, Daryl!
Daryl Boggs from.
That guy was awesome.
There he is with
Yeah.
Robert Davi and Kerry Green.
See, I didn't get to touch Kerry Green, so I'm
Gee,
a little
creepy.
jealous.
The
Listen,
Goonies gatherings were some really fun episodes / adventures.
did anybody out there ever watch Lucas?
With Corey Haim?
Yeah. I was at a certain age when I saw Lucas, and I saw Kerry Green in Lucas, and Charlie
Oh, I
Sheen for that
forgot that
matter.
they're both in that.
And I think they both affected me very much.
Really? Chance Mitchell says, I'm glad I caught another live show. Always fun when worlds collide. Do you know Chance Mitchell?
I don't, but I don't know. I can't see his picture. I'm so bad with names.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times I need the face.
We need to see Peanut.
I know.
Agreed.
Right.
Where's Brandon? Is Brandon still there?
Yeah, he's still here.
Brandon, where are you?
Still
Bring
here.
Peanut in the. Where are you in your house? Your house?
Peanut's at my parents' house, which is
Ah,
around the
you have your own house?
Yeah, we have we call my place the farm, and that's where the garage is, and my house with the car collection. And then around the corner is my parents' house, where there's the horse barns, and that's where Peanut lives. But
Well, we can stay on
We
the
do a
air. Go
live
get
cast
Peanut.
Yeah.
From Peanut.
Yeah.
So you live in the
Peanut
building
player?
that has Optimus Prime?
yes.
Or near the building that has
Dude,
Optimus Prime?
come on.
hell
So
yeah,
in
we're
Adam's
both
video,
Peanut.
he goes, oh, and we have Optimus Prime, and I'm picturing like the new,
Right,
the
right.
whatever, the one from the movies. He drives around the corner in the one from our childhood, the toy, but the
Wow.
real one,
It's just
a
like-
real actual. What is it? A Freightliner? Oh, look at this. Here we go.
Here we go. Here it comes.
I don't know if
Hold on.
I might have
So it's
to
gotta-
brightness.
Lower
to see
your
if
brightness
that-
down.
Oh, there's
Peanut!
Peanut.
Peanut! Oh,
Yeah, your
my
dad
God.
sent me a video of Peanut just running around with a little donkey in that yard or whatever.
Yeah,
and I
that's
was like,
that's our donkey Fiona.
oh, Fiona.
I love them.
I was like,
That's amazing.
I meet Jay, and Jay's like, oh, I used to work in 30 Rock and all this crazy stuff. And I meet Brandon the
Hang
same
on.
day, and he's like, I got a Ecto-1 and a DeLorean and a mini horse. So it's like,
Hang
who
on.
are these people?
I did
I'm
work-
nobody. I'm just
I
some
did work
kid.
at there. There's
Look at that,
So
Brandon.
the only reason we pulled
Oh,
this
that
up is
Conan?
we said something about. He
freaking
goes, "Oh, you worked
mustard-
on Conan in the beginning," and I said, "Yeah, in the very beginning, the first couple years."
That was what,
And he goes,
93?
"Oh, on the mustard set," and I go, "It was September '93 is when it started." He goes, "Oh, the mustard set," and I go, "Nobody remembers that set." So whenever I
mustard
show
set.
this picture to people, they go, "Where are you?" Nobody understands.
Did you
that
steal
was the
that
original
desk,
Conan
too?
set. No, I didn't steal.
Who
this
has
desk.
got that
Don't say
desk?
that.
Somebody's
Don't
got
say
that desk somewhere.
Oh, Kip is here.
Hilarious.
Greetings from Astoria.
Oh, cool.
Kip!
Hey, Kip.
Yeah.
Let's
Kip
run
is
some
another
red
guy. Oh
lights.
my gosh, what's Kip's
Just
wife's
joined
name?
on,
Abby.
Abby.
Yes, Abby. Oh,
Abby
they're
sewed the patches on
They
the
are so
sheriff
nice.
jacket.
They were like so, and they live there. So I was like, oh gosh, because the sad part about it was like, all these Goonies. So next time I come back, half of them don't live here, but Kip still lives there. So I'm like, oh, at least I have someone to hit up.
Well, Kip does, and Rich does, and there's a lot of people.
But Baby
that-
doesn't
I'm
live
only
there, does he?
5 hours away.
sometimes.
Oh, that's right. Well,
He's a quick
I want
drive.
to just go to your house. I just want to fly up.
gotta
and
go see
But you
Peanut.
guys keep traveling because your dad's coming here next week.
Yeah, but I'm always home. My dad.
Why aren't you
travels.
coming
I'm
here
always
next
home.
week?
I'll be there in August.
What's next week? Why would he?
There's Disneyland's 70th anniversary.
Wow.
Oh, I see.
And so his dad's texting me like, yeah, we're gonna be down there. We're gonna try to stand in line together and see Robot Walt.
Oh, my
come to this
gosh.
happy place. You know, Robot
Daryl
Walt.
says, "Hey, Dustin, Jay needs some more chocolate-covered espresso beans from Astoria Coffee to pick up next time you go."
I know.
Thank you. Chance Mitchell said, "Oh, come on, Jay. Of course you're lovable. You're a fan of Mr. Rogers. I am.
I
a big
love
old fan
Mr.
of Mr.
Rogers.
That's my favorite guy who talked to camera. Letterman's number 2, but Mr. Rogers.
Did you ever
number
meet
1.
Mr. Rogers?
No.
You met a lot of people.
You know,
so I have to ask.
one of my best friends in the world though does have an awesome childhood story where his dad knew Mr. Rogers, so he took him there, and they got to Mr. Rogers came over, or they went to his house. I think they went to his house and they played in the basement with him. Sounds creepy. It wasn't.
When my uncle first had his kidney cancer and they were going to remove this huge tumor and it was all stressful and they had to take out a kidney and whatever, in Pittsburgh, my whole like family flew there. My mom drove across country to be there because she doesn't fly. We're all there. And when he went in for surgery, it was like there's a couple hours where we're just doing nothing. And I thought, I can't be helpful here. So my brother and I went to the museum and saw like
I'm going to do
sets.
all that. I'm doing that on the next trip in October.
Oh, like.
So yeah, they got the castle there.
And I just immediately, it was like the Goonies house.
Yeah.
I just like
Yeah.
crying, like trying not to cry. I'm there with my little brother trying to be tough. You know?
Do you know Michael Keaton?
Yeah. Oh, do I know Michael?
Sorry, I
Keaton?
forgot he's Batman. I forgot he was Batman. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey,
in my mind, he's Birdman. Okay. And Beetlejuice.
1989 Batman, all-time favorite movie.
I had a conversation with him once because I did meet him, not in an industry thing. Actually, ironically, at the bar that my friend, whose dad in the Mr. Rogers story, that he owned. That's so weird.
And that's weird because he was on Mr. Rogers, right?
He worked there and was on it. Yes, but so
crazy.
that was one of the things we talked about.
Didn't Letterman work there? Or who? There was some other connection. There was some other early Letterman story that he worked on some other show, or was it the Electric Company or something? I'm thinking of Morgan Freeman or something.
Yeah, he was on the
That's what I'm
Electric
thinking
Company.
of. Okay, I don't know how that got mixed up.
And
Sorry,
then-
Brandon.
And then he started playing God. I need to get some. Yes.
Now every time I say
What's
something
up,
silly,
Dustin?
I would feel bad for Brandon. Like, oh, sorry, Brandon.
Had a great time on Dustin's
for me.
Goonies recap episode the other day. The Kung Fu Fabric is pretty good. Good company, great people. Wow, that's a very popular shirt you got there,
Dude, it's a great shirt.
buddy. People are enjoying your Goonie blogs.
Thank you, Donald.
Watch them
I don't know
several
which one's
times.
my camera, so there.
Oh, it's whatever
There
you
you
want it
go.
to. Wherever the red light is.
Thank you, Donald.
There he goes.
Oh, I wasn't looking at the red lights. How'd you do that?
What do you mean? They're all
Let me
red
tell you
light.
something about the Late Night Playset. It's not just a playset. It's like a real late night set. And like everything in your eye line is like lights. It's like, I walked in here and just went, and I've seen pictures of it. I've seen it on camera, but I don't know what I was expecting, dude. I was like, oh my gosh. And I won't say where it is, but in the building, you just would never expect to open that door and you're like, I'm in a whole other world.
Yeah, that's the goal.
This is so cool.
But don't you remember when you went to 30 Rock? You didn't go to 30 Rock ever.
I've been in it like on a stupid little
Okay,
tour.
but that's the same thing. So Spike
But never
Ferriston-
on the set, so we didn't get to
You
go
didn't go
in
into any
of-
studios?
No, we didn't get to go in any studios. We went to the roof. I don't know.
You weren't on the NBC studio
No,
tour.
so we didn't do the full tour. They weren't doing it when I was
Oh,
there.
bummer.
So I just got like this weird.
So you don't know the severance of it all, how it was
I was
literally
with,
just
like,
hallways. Oh, you're in a magical studio that you've seen 1,000 times on television.
Never got to do it.
That's what I was recreating here. It was a super special experience for me as a kid.
I went to one Conan taping
Out here.
at
though.
Warner.
Yeah.
So he was already on TBS, but even that was weird. It was like, well, that's really. Everything's always smaller or bigger than you think it's going to be.
That was huge to me. From every other iteration that was
Yeah.
so small, from Late Night and The Tonight Show, that was huge.
Because his first show, the one that you worked on, that must have been a tiny set, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems
Studio
tiny.
6A.
Yeah.
It's where Kelly Clarkson does her show now, but they use the studio
turned it sideways?
so that it seems bigger. The
I think
audience
there was
is raised
There
up.
was a thing where Conan and Jeff Ross were talking about how they wanted to do that, and then NBC was just like, no.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But it's weird watching the old Letterman shows from in there. You don't get the sense that it's small, but for some reason when you're watching
let me
Conan,
tell you
it
something.
feels even smaller. I don't know why.
Yes, it's the opposite. I mean, I can't believe we're talking
Conan
about this.
is
This
huge.
is deep in. This is so.
I love
It's
this
so
stuff,
inside
though.
baseball. But that was one of the things I didn't like about it. NBC, Kathleen Ankers, who won the Emmy for this stuff that we're sitting at right here, and for the late night set at NBC, she did all sorts of forced perspectives, everything you see in here. So none of that stuff filled up the room even. Like you could walk.
Really?
Yeah, the old late night set that seemed big with the big cartoony
Yeah,
windowscape
yeah.
and all that stuff, and
Which
Paul
I
and the
noticed
band
you have a
over
lot
there.
of pencils. I was going to ask you where you throw them.
Oh, anywhere you want. Here.
You throw them through the glass.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh! I love that. Wait, one more time.
One more?
I
fun,
feel
right?
so special
It's
right
fun.
now and important.
It's
That's
fun.
so amazing.
I'm telling you. You want
That's
one,
why
right?
that thing of pencils is there, right?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Whatever you want, Justin.
This is for you. I like to give people
Can I
a
just,
talk show
just
experience.
Really quick,
What's he-
I need
There
to
you
get in
go.
all the
Oh, you want to be
chairs,
in both?
And I want to just
Sure.
a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. Can I stand on it and flash you?
You know, one
That's
person
this
did
desk,
that.
right? That's this
It was
desk.
this desk, and Mark Pitta did that once. I don't know if you remember him, the comedian Mark Pitta from like the
That sounds
80s
so
and 90s.
familiar. I just
Yeah,
can't picture
if you
him.
saw him, you'd know him in a heartbeat.
Dude, Drew Barrymore still lives down here, so did you get her to come over?
She lives in New York now. They do her show in New York.
Oh no, does she?
They do the show in New York, yeah,
Ah,
CBS.
Tom Green broke her heart, and away she went.
I thought I really would love to have Tom Green here. Maybe next time
Dude,
he's on
Tom
tour.
Green's another.
You know,
like,
maybe Adam could help me with that.
Massive hero. Tom Green is the man. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they ever still talk ever again, but he went on a show,
I know.
which was like, what?
It's hilarious because I had Kip Marshall greetings. Oh man, I'm really late here. Still, there's so more. Kind of
I
reminds me of
told
Little
you
Sebastian.
So many
early in the day on the first Goonies day, I was telling everyone, I go,
Abby says
we're
hi.
with Adam, and we are going to meet famous people today. We are all going to run into something that's going to happen because
Who
Adam.
are you talking about? That's
it's
my
because
life.
we were with Adam. Well, we had the double whammy then because Adam has this weird thing where like he'll be in the middle of Texas, he'll pull over to get some coffee somewhere, and there's what's his face, the singer from Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan is just hanging out and having coffee with him.
Yep.
That stuff happens to him all the time. It's like gravity. He's got some kind of juju
Yeah.
on him.
Can I tell you something? We have the exact same thing, and he and I talked about it. We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well, I don't care. That's why nothing ever happens to me. And then
Can't
I
be
care,
true. Can't
you
be
know?
true. That can't be true. It can't be. He and I talked about this at length. There is some weird. It doesn't matter. There's some weird when you don't care. Weird shit happens like
It
Forrest
is
Gump.
like that because like when he went to that VIP cocktail thing at the Goonies thing, you could just tell his eyes were glossed over after like 30 minutes. He's like, I want to go.
Yes.
And we're all like, no.
So
it's
I
not
also don't
Forrest,
enjoy those things.
whatever.
I was there for the group. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that for me.
I
the
enjoyed
group
all of
hang
you
was
guys.
was a good time. The large
Just trying
events.
to
Ask
schmooze
anybody
up
here. They
people.
all know I don't do well at the
I
large
don't
events.
like crowds.
I'm not good at
And
it.
I don't like schmoozing. I don't know how to do it.
Oh.
And so I was just telling someone yesterday. They're like, "Well, it must be weird to you doing YouTube." And then because people were walking up to me just off the street, and I was like, "No, I love it because I'm so shy that was like for the first time in my life, people would go." Aren't you the guy? I think I've seen you at
Yep.
something at Disneyland. I was like, oh, and then once someone starts talking to me, I'm cool talking.
Yep.
I'm just not the guy that's going to go and go, hey guys, hey, it's Adam.
Oh, that was the Daily Woo. There you go.
He's in France.
What's up, Adam?
En français. Or something.
Yeah, it's nice of him to
That
show
in
up
French.
because we can't tag him in this.
Yeah,
There's no way
can't
for it
tag
to show.
Adam.
Can't tag Adam. Adam the Woo.
I can text him.
See if he agrees. That Adam, do you agree?
Dude.
Greetings from Greece, Irene Hoffman. Do you
Yeah,
remember
Adam, what do you think about
remember
this
Rupert
gravity thing?
in
Rupert.
Letterman and Rupert in the deli?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, this is Rupert and Irene are a couple. They watch from wherever they are, either in New
What?
York or in Greece. So Rupert and Irene say hello.
I would just like to say hello, Irene, and also please extend my hello to Rupert, who I was always the hugest fan of. And
Me too.
I tried to go and
Hi,
find him
Dave.
in the deli the first time I ever went to New York, and our teacher wouldn't let us go.
Oh, lame.
You know, because the first time I was like on a field trip or whatever, we went to the Twin Towers. I mean, it was a while ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago. The Twin Towers were there.
You know, growing
Dude,
up,
Adam should do this show with me. I want to be here when Adam does the show,
I would love it.
so I can be disruptive.
So I asked
all
him.
the
He said
pressure
he
on him.
does it. He said he hasn't done a podcast in 10 years.
Nah, but this feels different. This is, I mean, it's freaking Letterman's desk.
This is just you guys nerding out.
Yeah, this
And
is
then your
just like-
friends
Yeah, this
going
isn't much of a-
online
Yeah.
Also nerding out with you.
You asked me if I do podcasts.
One of the few times I did a blue card.
Yeah.
Don't need it at all.
You asked me if I do like a lot of podcasts. I'm like, no, because no one ever asks me.
But you should have one.
I have one for Patreon.
Okay.
Like just like a kind of little side thing. It's mostly just me talking or me and a couple of my dumb friends.
But that's
just
your
talking about
exclusive
stuff.
Patreon content
Yeah,
because
we,
we
just
were
do
talking
that for
about
the hell of
that.
it, you know.
Do you like
And,
Patreon?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do anything without those people.
We should do Patreon.
Yeah.
We should do
It's-
Patreon and try to grow and build our audience, which
I'll
we've
tell
never
you-
done either one before.
This all happened by accident, and when I got divorced, and my whole it's like I was saying, it's like
Hey,
someone throws a
Justin.
grenade into your life.
Hey, Justin,
Yeah.
why YouTube?
Well, okay. If you want the whole story, I gotta
Sure.
let me go back. My friend Rob always says that. Wait, let me go back.
Takes me way back in time.
Well, I had YouTube since it first started because I was in a band called The Scarred, so why no one and people called the band The Scared too. so
hang
that's
on.
why no one gets
We're
the
gonna have
name
to put a
wrong.
pin in this because somebody else just popped in.
Oh, who
It's
popped
another
in?
playset pop in.
Let me get the door.
Who's that?
Oh no way! Freaking Retro Robby.
Hey!
So we got
Mouth showed up.
we got Canada and we got Florida in the house. Oh,
wait,
I did that wrong.
who's who? Who's who in this Goonies crew? Okay, there he is, always showing something. Robby's the funniest freaking person on the planet. So I go in his room, his hotel room with Adam, and Adam and I are having this conversation. It's all grumpy. Adam's all grumpy in the morning. They're gonna check out. They're gonna take off, right? That last day, and Robby just starts pulling out action figures and just holding them in front of my face while we're talking. And it's like, check this out, showing all the T-shirts. Like, Robby's so funny, dude. I don't know if he's mouth or what. Who's who?
Adam and I both agreed that he is the hype man of hype men. Neither one of us have ever had a fan like Robby, and he's one of my favorite people because of it.
Robby is the best.
Jay, I am your biggest fan. I love all you guys. What's up,
Hey,
bud?
we needed you the other day for the 40th anniversary of the Back to the Future, man.
Dude, I absolutely. And yes.
I love that he's got the Goonies hat and the Days of Thunder cup.
He, unlike me though,
Yes.
Well, and according to Dustin,
unlike
he's got
me,
his
Rob.
name.
See, he's got something. He'll be, and the next shot you show him, he's gonna be holding something else up. It'll be like Macho Man action figure or something.
Ooh,
Robbie-
snap into a Slim Jim.
Robbie has a
I
real
got a
job
lot
though.
of
Robbie is a teacher. He actually does something useful with his life, unlike me. So I look
Yeah, I
up to
found out
Robbie.
our school just got an AA, so a shout out to my school, Jewett School of the Arts. But can I give a shout out real quick to Kip and Abby Marshall? Hey, can you? How's my picture quality?
It's very poor.
It's very poor.
Very poor.
We are very disappointed in your picture quality.
Yeah.
Not up to our standards. Canada looks like this.
Look at Canada.
Yeah.
You look
Good.
like this in Florida.
Yeah, and Brandon, you just had a birthday. Brandon had a birthday.
I did.
Oh, nice deflection. did you get new internet for your birthday?
Noticed.
I want you to sell this talk show to TV, and I want to just come be on it every day.
If
This
you
is
can help
so
us do
fun.
that, I think this team
This
would be
is
on
the
board.
most fun I've ever had on camera, and I'm not lying.
Let's go.
It's so much more. I don't have to hold anything. I don't have to come up with anything. It just happens. And I kind of feel like I look great on your set.
You
too.
do. You look fantastic.
I feel like I want to do this in my house because, like, look how good I look on your little monitors here. And normally I don't look good at all.
Well,
It's surprising anyone watches.
we
what I
needed
do.
to do the lighting for ourselves, you know. Nicole was beautiful, but the rest of us need a little work.
Dave said even Robbie's video feed is retro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. What a good line.
No, there's a
Justin
little
is
better.
calling him out that he's got his coin, so I don't know what the drama
Now I
is
can at
there,
least see
but-
his eyes.
Justin made all those coins.
Ah, that's great.
Dustin, by the
been a
way,
while.
I
It's been a
bought
while.
your coins and they were rad, and I never did get like the Bayman coin. Like I never got.
Oh.
the old, do you got one? Huh?
No, I didn't.
I thought he gave you one for some reason.
I don't need those sort of things,
They
and
were
I think
giving them
people
away
know
at
that.
the VIP cocktail hour, and somebody was like, "Do you want one? Because I think they're giving away." I go, "I didn't pay for this, so I don't want one." You know, like.
Well, that would be
I
another
felt
reason
bad.
I wouldn't want, and that would
Because
be
they were
another.
numbered
Absolutely,
and people paid a lot.
absolutely, that would be another.
I was
one.
like, dude, Jay and I were the ones standing there, and I was like, "Well, you know, Bayman, and I'm only here because you're," and you're like, "Well, I'm only here if you guys are here." And we were like, "Do we leave? Do we stay?"
No, what I meant by that was I wasn't going to leave the Goonies group.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I didn't
That's why
go
we
to
were
the
standing
armory
there.
to get my ID because I don't have.
Yeah.
I don't. I didn't. I'm
We
not
were,
there.
We
through
were
that.
both standing
I found
outside
out
that
about.
thing. Like, do
I-
we stay here?
I found out about Goonies Weekend, the organization,
yeah.
after I was already in Astoria. I found
Yeah.
out about it from Adam and Rich at the Short Circuit House that night before I
I've
met
only
you.
found out about Goonies Weekend by
I was
being in
there,
a store. And
though.
people go,
My-
haven't you been for
my-
a Goonies Weekend?
My point being, I didn't buy any tickets. I didn't set up
Yeah.
any of those things, but I knew everybody, and they had all invited me. So I think I was on. I think I could have gone anywhere.
On the list, yeah.
But my point to what you're saying was, if some of our group was going to get in and some wasn't, I was going to hang. If I could be anywhere,
yeah.
I was going to hang
'Cause
with
you
the
were
group
supposed to be
that
on the
wouldn't. Because
list.
if I could get over anytime I wanted, then what's the difference?
And Adam went in, and you were going to go in, and you're just like, "No, I'll hang out here with you guys." And it's you, me, and Brandon.
well,
for
I
the
didn't have one of those
longest time.
things. The
Yeah.
security people. I thought they had an iPad earlier in the day. They had an iPad, and I
Yeah.
was on the checklist with the iPad and whatever.
But I
But then
just
they were like,
remember-
"Oh, do you have a lanyard?" I was like, "I don't have a lanyard.
They
I'll
started-
go stand with my friends."
They started kicking everyone else out, like down the.
Well, that's when
road.
I pulled rank. Then I was like, "Well, do they know who we are?"
And then he kind of did that. So they let us
No, I
stay there.
said
Go,
let-
well,
I said
okay,
let-
you
let
guys
them
can
go.
wait there until the people.
They didn't-
But then I started chickening out, and then you're like, well, if you're gonna go, I'm not gonna stand here if you're leaving. So I kind of felt like, we bonded. We're like, okay, we'll both get in trouble together.
Yeah, it wasn't trouble even.
It
though.
wasn't even trouble.
It was a
but
matter of not wanting to leave your compatriots
I
behind.
get shy. Like, well, I don't want to be like the guy that asked to get in the thing or whatever.
You professionally are on good terms with people. You don't want to get on bad terms
I'm
and then
just
not be able to
squirrely.
go back to a place.
I'm just squirrely and shy.
Yeah, you're half right. Even Robbie's video feed is retro. That is hilarious.
That's
It really
really
is
good.
hilarious. So true, Dave.
Hey, Jay.
Hey,
I
that
gotta
Robby?
give a Shout out. Wow, still? Dang it.
Ah,
Dang, I'm like I'm like in a hostage situation.
It's yeah, it is weird. Because
I
it's
wanna
you.
give
It's
a shout
definitely you.
out to Abby. She sent me a bunch of earrings.
Oh.
Oh, I love
Are you
it.
gonna wear them?
Well, maybe.
Pierce your ear,
Maybe
dude.
These are the greatest.
Go down to Claire's.
Shout
They'll
out.
pierce them.
Claire's Boutique.
Yeah.
You're hilarious.
Players.
Go to Top Cappy. You're hilarious.
Me and dude,
Yeah,
I'll
hey,
re-pierce
I'm
my
just,
ear if you pierce yours.
I'm just doing a cameo. I'm sorry for the VHS quality.
Honestly, what else would it be with you? We're really happy to see you, brother.
That's true.
When you
But
coming
I
to LA?
love you guys.
When you
Jay,
coming to
I
LA?
love you.
Yeah, when
Justin,
you coming
I
back?
love you. Brandon, I can't wait for us all to team up
can't hear
again.
us.
Maybe, I hope in the near future. I
Yeah.
hope in the near future, guys.
Can you hear us at all, Robby?
Yeah. Maybe October, Robby.
Maybe October.
Maybe
Jay.
a little Back to the Future action, because I think our friend
Yeah.
Jay Ryan might know some people with some time machines. Brandon might know someone with a
I
time
do, but I'll
machine.
be on the road again in October.
No!
October, I'm going to be
Hey.
on another grand tour around the country. I'll be everywhere but here.
I'll have to find you.
That's right. You'll be in Florida.
Well, what are the dates? Is it the 5th through the 12th again? Because that was a great idea,
don't
whoever
know.
came up with that one.
I don't
It's
know.
the end of October, Jay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it
think
was
it's around
November.
Whoever's in charge of...
The
Who is even
24th.
in charge of We're Going back now? Who's even...
Oh, I have no idea.
Because the
You're asking the wrong guy.
There's an
he's
Instagram,
gone.
Justin.
Huh?
There's an Instagram. Let me
Well,
find
whoever it is, tell them to
Listen,
invite
Jay.
us.
Jay, Eric with Back to the Future IG. Need to coordinate with him.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, Eric. that's
Way
his
back in
name.
the day, they weren't sure when to do it, and somebody had an idea. Said,
was
"Guys,
supposed to be
this
the
is
tour guide."
this is a missed opportunity
And we
if
would've
we're
met.
not doing it November 5th through November 12th."
Did you do the bus tour?
No, I told you I was not into any of that shit.
But, like...
I thought it was really cool for
That's
the
why
fans.
we
We
didn't
went to the
meet.
dance.
And
We
that's
went to
the
the
one
dance.
event I didn't go to. Did you go to the mall when they did the screening there and came
Yeah, I
out
was
in the
there,
door? Okay,
yes.
so we were both there, but there
But there
was
was
a lot of people.
50,000
there.
other people. Yeah.
But that's crazy. We were there together.
That's
right?
true,
We should've
yeah,
met you
what a
back
time.
then. Dang it. Oh, I was too shy, man, back then.
Oh, Robbie's gone. I love it. Robbie just
Bye,
bounced.
Robbie.
Bounced.
Seemed
Bye,
like he
Robbie.
was
Bye,
trying
Norm.
to dip out.
It's hilarious.
He was
Um,
ashamed of his retro video feed quality.
I thought that was funny. I enjoyed that.
Live stream. So that's what it would look like from my house. What, you got fiber optic in here? Wow, this is what a great stuff in here.
That was you're doing Jay Leno again.
Wait, where'd Jay sit?
but
he
has-
sat over there.
We when we had
Because
this.
Nicole was over here.
The desk used to be over there. Nicole was where the star is on the floor.
Oh.
Oh.
And so Jay was over here like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, right, exactly. So now we set it up the Letterman way again, with the desk on this side and the.
I love
on
it,
that side.
dude.
I know, I can tell.
I freaking. Well,
awesome.
if there wasn't a window right here, I would have been already like Chris Farley over the
Oh, yeah.
chair and stuff. Like, it's
If it
so
was a real
exciting,
set and not just our dining
But I don't
room.
want to break your chair because that would be bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
we
say.
had those chairs were there for years, and they were on this show, and they were on that show, and then
That's
this
right.
idiot Justin came over and ruined them.
Late night, late show.
We kicked him out of the
YouTuber.
Goonies. Yeah, it's YouTube, huh? Oh, I forgot I was supposed to tell you that story.
It was good hanging out with you all in front at the gate. Yeah, that was a blast, man.
Yeah.
It was all fun. Everything about that week was fun.
couldn't
Even the
talk
stuff
to-
that
we-
didn't work out was fun.
We couldn't talk to him at that 80s market because his table was like swarmed.
I know.
I wanted to be like, how'd you make these coins, sir? But I
What was the
couldn't get them.
T-shirt guy? Gross.
Oh.
Gross guy. Not
Gross guy?
Gross guy.
Which t-shirt guy? The guy in the van?
No, he know. BC. There was 2 tables at that thing. Brandon's was huge. I mean, Damon's was huge. Fucking. Did I say that right?
Bobby Rob.
So, what is it?
Bobby Rob.
Who said that? Wait, how did you? Where'd you
Hey,
come
whoa,
from?
Robbie came back.
Yes.
Hey.
What was his name? What was the T-shirt guy's name? Robbie Rotten.
I can't. Yes. Okay.
Bobby-
Yeah.
Bobby
So he-
Robbie.
Rotten Robbie.
Rotten Robbie. Okay.
Slobby.
I can never remember.
Slobby Robbie.
Slobby Robbie?
Yeah. Not,
Now it just sounds like he's making stuff up.
Yeah.
So Slobby Robbie, and this was
Slobby
everything is supposed to be a
Robbie.
by the way, but everything becomes a 5-man job.
I know.
This is awesome.
When you sell this show to the network, can I be a puppet or something? That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll have a real
love
studio
puppets.
and room for puppets.
That was my
at
first
that point.
job, Adventure City in Stanton, California.
Well, hang on,
As a
don't.
puppeteer.
Is this true?
Yeah, I wanted to be a Muppeteer. It's all I ever wanted in my whole life.
Okay, but I have this crazy
I
wild
wanted to make
dream
movies
of
with puppets.
of doing what you're talking about.
And
But
then
I
we talked
I want
to-
to bring back
a certain person in Astoria was talking a lot about puppets and different stuff, and I was like,
I mean, we can say his name, Adam F. Goldberg. He's currently producing Muppets and Mayhem.
yeah,
whatever that one
that's
is,
right.
With the Electric Mayhem.
I didn't know that part was that.
And then also he
Ghost wrote the Wizard of Oz.
Muppet Wizard of Oz.
On Muppets Mayhem, yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up! Are you
Yeah,
serious?
when I was at Disney.
I need to touch a Muppet.
Hey, Justin, talk about Spike and your love of Oceanic
You
Arts.
should have Spike.
Who's
Do you love-
Spike?
Do you love tiki things? I don't get that vibe from in here, but
I got married in Hawaii.
my buddy Spike, he's in this
Oh,
band
that's
called the Hula Girls with like go-go dancers and stuff. He's like a tiki guy.
Hell yeah.
And I've been telling him for like more than a decade, like, you should do a show about like tiki stuff and tiki mugs and whatever. And then during COVID, he finally started to like live stream cocktail recipes. So he's got a show called Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour, I think. And him and I are doing like a event this weekend, July 11th, at Landers Liquor Bar in Costa Mesa. The inside's 21 and up where his band is playing, but outside I'm going to set up a tent and just stand out there with my tiki mask that I carve.
That's awesome. You carved them yourself?
Yeah.
And then sell them.
Yeah.
Damn.
For way less than I should. But
So I'll show you the Hawaii room after this. but-
oh, there is a Hawaii room.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see the Hawaii room.
No, that's closed off to the public.
I wasn't
It's
invited
through the
into
not
the
an exit
interstate.
sign over there.
Okay. Oh, it's the Fallout shelter.
Yeah, that's right.
We like to play some tricks in here.
This is so cool in here.
Slobby Robbie,
Slobby
thank
Robbie.
you. So Dustin, I called him Damon a second ago. Dustin and Slobby Robbie had the only two packed
They were just totally packed.
uh,
Couldn't get in.
stores at the.
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, I think Dustin is where I got my Rock Donald's shirt.
What is happening?
I'm here for it. Fantastic.
I love Robbie. It would. This would only happen to Robbie's. It was like the best thing. I'm glad Adam had videos and I had videos of that weekend because it was the best thing. Yeah, see, it says Breezeway Night. So it's this weekend, July 11th, Costa Mesa, Landers liquor thing. The outside where I am is free and all ages. I don't know about the inside.
What night is this?
It's July 11th.
July 11th.
Landers
Oh, Friday,
Liquor
isn't it?
Bar,
It's
yeah.
Friday, I think.
All right,
Breezeway
you guys-
Night.
Can you guys do this?
And that's Orange County?
Yeah, Costa
Okay.
Mesa. Costa Mesa.
Oh, wow. Is
You
that
ever
all
go
of
down
us?
to the OC?
Dude, that's amazing.
Aw.
You see it,
Oh,
guys?
and look, a Back to the Future poster.
Yeah, can you see it, guys? I got you guys right here.
That's amazing. I love that you
Guys.
printed out an actual photo of all of us. That's
Yes.
incredible.
That's because he loves
That's
us.
retro.
Very Robbie retro.
Right? Yeah, 1 hour photo.
I showed.
Oh, hell yeah.
You're
Do we
hilarious.
still have those?
Is it a photo, Matt? Was it in a parking lot? Was there a Libyan VW bus?
Robbie's
in
one
the
of
middle
those
it?
guys that should be on TV.
Ooh, scroll down and he's got the McDonald's glasses from part 2 there. See the
Dude,
McDonald's
also,
glasses?
can I say I watched a couple of clips of this show, and then I watched the whole Jay Leno thing, and you're really good at this.
Okay, the Jay
Yeah,
Leno
it's
show
like-
is the worst show we ever
I
did.
know you say that, but
It's the worst show we ever
you're
did.
actually really good at this.
You should see. Have you read the comments on the Jay Leno? All it
No.
talks about is how horrible this show is and how these two hosts are the worst hosts in the history. of it.
What? No.
Yeah. It's true. Nicole was really suffering. I told you the behind the scenes of how that all happened, and it was like the worst
She
day
didn't
ever.
say much, but she didn't need to. Jay was talking enough for everyone. Yeah.
I was probably my worst. It was the worst show ever. Jay was
He
amazing.
didn't even ask you about your Porsche.
Jay was amazing. He was waiting for me to ask him more questions, and I didn't know.
No, it was awesome. I loved
The
it.
second half of that show is great. If anybody watched the Jay Leno
I just thought
episode,
you were
if you
good
haven't
at
seen
this. I
it,
was
go
like,
watch
dang.
the second half of it.
Jay's
Second half
good
of it's
at the
great.
podcasting thing. You're a good interview guy.
I grew up watching Letterman and working on all these
You're
shows.
Awesome.
What?
You're awesome.
And you need Robbie.
All you guys
So
are
we'll all
awesome.
be
I
on
love
your
you
show,
guys.
right? Robbie will be your hype
Yes.
man guy. He opens the show.
Absolutely.
He shouts it. He's behind the podium.
Yep.
I'll be like Andy
Absolutely.
Richter,
Okay.
but more annoying. You know?
And
Brandon
then,
will be there looking stern, reading the news.
I think Brandon needs to be a producer with that look.
I know. Look at
Except-
it. He's got the cans on and everything.
Except that when
Yes.
Brandon and I look at this, Robbie is he's ridiculous.
I wish they were here.
When Brandon and I did the show, we decided that we need to host a podcast together.
No, I would love
Because-
Too
that.
much to say.
No, because then I want to be on it.
Brandon is
You can be
no,
on
no,
it,
one of those
Justin.
shows that doesn't have like just the shows where you
Yeah.
just nerd out about the
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Because it was so fun and
I didn't watch
he's
it 'cause I was
really
pissed.
good at it too.
When I saw you
So-
guys did your episode together, I didn't watch. I watched the very beginning of it. I turned it off because I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna get mad because I want to be there too."
You're
So I want to
hilarious.
be part of the fun with the boys. I can't remember where I was, but I
We-
was somewhere miserable, and I was like,
We talked about you the whole time and everybody else. We
I
had such a
turned
great
it off.
time.
No, because I was somewhere. I can't remember where I was. I was somewhere. Where I was like, "Oh, I don't want to be here." And then you guys did that episode. I was like, "I want to be there."
So go watch that episode. And
I
then,
will now.
And then the Pee Wee documentary because those are two things.
dude, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna lose it.
So good.
I cried in the Goonies house. I didn't think I was gonna cry. I was joking to
I
you
know.
guys beforehand. I'm totally gonna choke up. And
I
then
told
did.
everybody
I
about that.
cried.
It was great. I
And
said
then
you
you
cried
cried.
twice. I cried a little bit. I cried with the. You know what?
I felt better when you cried. I felt less. I felt.
I
Like,
didn't.
all right, we're in it
I didn't
together.
expect it. I didn't expect it.
No.
Because I made it through the part that I
You
thought
had the
would make
best
me
line.
cry.
You had the best line, and I stole it from you for the interview for the documentary.
Yeah, I know.
By accident, but
You
also a
took
little on
everything I
purpose.
said ahead of time, and then you and Adam did your interview before I did.
Yeah.
So you said everything I said.
Because you said, because I was going like, oh, I felt like you walked into a friend's house, but I never knew them, but they felt like my friends. Da, da, da. I couldn't articulate it. Then you went, no, it felt like walking into your own childhood.
Because we did.
And you were right, because it wasn't just the Goonies part, but also the smell of everything from
Yep.
the 80s. Every label of everything
Yep.
was like you walked back into your childhood.
Yeah.
And it was just so overwhelming and emotional. It
We
was
are all doing all of
crazy.
these things. Your YouTube channel, you go to these places. I'm doing this little thing in here to feel nostalgic, right?
Yeah,
To go
yeah.
back to a place, and
Yeah.
we're all trying our best at achieving that. Somehow, Bayman, JP Connolly, the teams involved,
Yeah.
Kip, all of the people made
Adam
that
Goldberg,
happen
yeah.
to hundreds of people that day, but hopefully thousands eventually.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're looking
Very
at,
few people got to go through the actual
they're still
house.
worried about the documentary and when are we going to finish the house. They haven't
Right.
even worked out how it's going to work or
Right.
tickets or timed entry or whatever. And I was just telling them on the porch that night, like, you guys understand what you did here for the fans of this movie? Because whatever happens with all that, whether you guys lose all your money or not, like, this
Right.
thing is going to be there for, it's going to change people's lives.
I agree with you, but you're hilarious. Investment aside.
Yeah, investment aside, you know. But it's not my money. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have any money. I'd like to own a home. Isn't it great to own land?
Daryl
Okay.
wants to be the laughter in the background of your show, by the way.
He should be. Yeah, you got the coin from me, Robby, you crazy cameraman.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I just want to
See,
give a
there's-
shout out to. We need to remake this movie, all of us.
Let's. I love that movie with a passion.
And did you guys see that I got to have a Goonies reunion with Kevin, with our Goonies dad, BC DeLorean?
Yes.
I got to be with Kevin and Lisa. Brandon, I'm sure you saw we were at SeaWorld together. So I got to spend some time with Kevin while they were vacationing in Orlando. We had a great reunion. Of course, all we did was reminisce about how much fun we had, how we miss everyone, how we love everyone, and how we hope to do it again soon.
For the viewers and listeners at home who don't know, the guy on the right is Brandon in Canada. His dad is Kevin. We all bonded up in Gooниeville.
Robbie was calling him Dad the whole weekend. He's like, "Hey,
sure.
Dad," and I was like, "Is that his name?"
He felt like all of our
Yes.
dad, except he wasn't old enough to actually be most of our
he
dad.
was like, yeah.
That's true. That's true.
He doesn't look
He
old
was
enough
just
to
one
be
of the guys.
Brandon's dad.
Yeah, I agree. And their relationship
but-
is such that
Yeah,
you
they're
wouldn't
like
think they were
buddies.
necessary. Exactly.
So I was like, maybe Dad's just his nickname because both these guys are calling him Dad.
Dad,
It took me
Daddy-o.
like 30 minutes to figure out, like, oh no, Kevin is actually Brandon's real
Dad,
dad.
George, you with the bike.
You with the bike, exactly.
But take care of us all.
Yeah, they did.
He drove us around. He would like hold stuff for us, like take it to the car. Like, no, you guys don't worry, I'll go park. Like, oh, this is so sweet. No one ever treats me like that. Not even my dad. Just kidding.
So how do we should figure out a way to do a reunion show with
We should
everybody.
do
Get Adam in
something.
here. Do this with these guys again.
Or just
but,
go
like,
on another adventure.
That's better. Let's do that.
Brandon and Robbie should fly here for Disney's 70th anniversary.
Well, I
Two
figure
or three
I'm
times.
gonna be out there on the road, so I'm gonna see everybody. I'm gonna go see Robby Retro in October.
Freaking Florida, dude. He's out there in what is it? The Alcatraz, the swamp one. What is it called?
What?
What?
That was
Oh,
the worst-
Alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah, that was the worst. Do you see me fail at that joke? So do you see me go?
It was rough. It was rough.
Yeah,
It
that was
almost
bad.
didn't even fall
You're
out.
at Alligator Alcatraz. Yeah.
But you got it in at the buzzer.
I can't hear Robbie. I know
Yeah.
he's there. I could feel his presence. So I can't hear him.
His bandwidth won't allow audio.
Oh, I
Look,
see
you can't
his
hear
mouth
him.
moving.
It's so weird.
That's from 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That's how retro he is.
Yeah, yeah,
His
exactly.
feed is 10 minutes behind.
He's got a sound delay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna peace out. I love
All right, we love you, buddy. Bye bye.
Bye,
Robbie.
Thanks for the
Bye.
tour.
Justin, Brandon, love you guys.
I love Robbie too.
Hey, buddy.
Oh my
He's
God.
So funny. You should have seen Adam that next morning, like that last morning, just like he looked hungover. You know, Adam doesn't drink or anything, but he
Right.
just looked hungover from the weekend.
That's another thing
He's
we
got
have in
a
common.
low social battery. It went out quick.
Both of us.
And
You could see the first the
Yeah.
days go
just
down.
go down. I have the same thing, but I will stay at a 10 until the final curtain comes
No,
down.
that's
and then
unacceptable.
I spent
Who are you
3
doing
or
that
4
for?
days driving home. Like,
You still don't have your voice back. Who are you doing that for?
I don't know.
But my point is, like, what's it's a no-sum game.
It's really weird. I just get like this. The anxiety fuels the energy, and
You're right about the anxiety.
I just stay up with that anxiety. I've just learned to harness the anxiety, like lightning hitting the clock tower, and I just go 1.21 gigawatts. Then everybody leaves, and it's funny because people ask Allie all the time, "Is he like this all the time?" And no, at home
That's Nicole too. Yeah.
I'm just quiet.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't relate to what you're talking about at all. But
I get
used
the class
to.
clown thing, and I get the anxiety thing, and I've just somehow learned to put them together into one horrible ball of annoying. That's why some people love me. They're like, "You're great, Justin's here, the life of the party," and other people are like, "Oh God."
Yeah, but being polarizing is how you build fans. It's
Yeah.
how you build community.
I can even
You're-
tell my dad. Like,
you
my
know?
dad has a low social battery, kind of. He's a really interesting guy. He likes talking to people, but he's just real calm. He's also Canadian. And I can even
Wait,
tell.
you're Canadian? Or your
My dad is, yeah.
okay.
And I could tell, like, when I moved back in with them for a while, when I got divorced and stuff, like, I could tell he even had, like, a time limit for me. I was old enough and self-aware enough to go, oh.
I'm wearing you out.
I'm wearing you out.
Cool.
Just tell me when to shut up. I'll go in the other room, you know.
Emotional intelligence. Love to see it.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
we
say
would
good.
have got a lot better when I was a kid if I'd have learned this earlier, you know.
Yeah.
So good for you for seeing it though, because I think I was that way but didn't know it.
Yeah.
And then later on, you get the self-awareness.
Yeah,
and
later on, you're like,
you wish you
oh.
could undo like 10 years worth of shit.
I'm really annoying.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Damn.
Wow, I can't stand myself.
I had a friend, my friend Ben, who is my drummer in my old band. He lives down the street. Shout out to Studio City.
Right.
We'll be talking. We'll be in the studio. We'll be doing whatever. He'll just go pause, and then
Deep
finish
breath.
his point, and they go okay. And I was like,
He'll
and I
tag
tell
you
people
out.
all the time, if I'm doing that, it's okay. Just tell me shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just tag me out.
Yeah. Just tap me.
Adam and I felt very at home. Like I could probably do almost anything with him for a bit, for a few
Yeah,
days.
because Adam he'll be quiet.
Right. Well, and I will too.
And he needs that quiet. So do I, but he needs that quiet time to recharge and
Yes.
think and use his brain.
So do
you
I.
know? And so he looked so hungover that last morning, and I go in there, and then Robbie's just like holding up T-shirt after T-shirt, action figure after
Oh my
action.
God.
Yeah, I'm trying to have this serious, like grumpy conversation.
And they were
it was,
traveling
like,
together, and they were about to go to
It was
Seattle
like
together.
super early in the morning, and Robbie's all chipper. He hadn't even had coffee yet. He's like, "Hey, check this out, man! Kindergarten cop T-shirt." You know?
Oh my God.
He's so funny, dude.
Was that the final day at Video
Yeah.
Horizons? Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. I remember that.
No, that was the next day when I woke up and I saw you and Robert Davi, but they had checked
Oh,
out. They
okay.
took off.
Okay.
I should have just stayed in their room that night. They gave me the room key.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what time did I leave you? Because that's when I left Astoria.
I'm confused. So you left after Robert Davi at the jail?
No, before that, at the car show.
Dude, so
Remember
I
when
was
he
there.
almost hopped through the roof or
I
whatever?
was there easily 2 days past you.
Yeah. And I was asking you there. We were at that.
That was the day of the car show on
yeah,
Sunday.
we were at that brewery thing, and I was like, "You taking off?" You're like, "I don't know. I think so." So
No.
I was like, "All right, I'm out of here."
Yeah, I stayed.
And then you stayed a couple days.
Yeah.
And then they were telling me, like, the production crew and stuff, like, "Hey, stay tonight because of the jail and the whatever." And I was like,
Correct.
"I got to get home." But it was so stupid because I didn't get to, like, Brookings or wherever I slept until, like, the middle of the night. I stayed at this weird, like, fisherman hotel or something. It's, like, right in the fish packing thing. So I got there and it just, like,
Fish
smelled like
packing thing.
fish. So I went in the room. It just smelled like fish. And then there was a door, like, locked, like, padlocked shut in the back of the hotel room. And it was, like, for $20 a day, you can rent this kitchen. And I was like, what the hell kind of place? What is this? I can't remember what it was. It's like Captain Jack's Motel or something.
Wow.
It was kind of awesome. I didn't even film it because I was
What
so
part
tired.
of Oregon were you?
It was like in
Just somewhere on the
Port
coast?
Orford or somewhere like that. It was like in some weird spot.
Wow.
It was really strange.
Port Orford.
Yeah, some really weird little. It's there's a wooden statue, like somebody chainsaw cut a log out of Charlie Tuna, wherever that is. That's where the hotel is.
Holy moly, that's
It's
descriptive.
like, I want to see that chainsaw carving of Charlie Tuna.
Wow.
I'm gonna go pee. You guys talk.
Can we do that?
We can do whatever we want.
Can I sit
here.
behind your desk? Oh no, the camera wouldn't change.
Yeah.
This is we're working without a net here, people.
Oh no!
Yeah,
it's
Don't
live.
worry, I'm here. I'll catch you. You'll be just fine.
Okay, see, I'm glad that I'm not alone in here. Plus, I got Brandon. Brandon, what's
yeah.
up?
How's it going, man?
Dude, what's up with Canada?
Canada's doing good.
What's up with
Canada's
Canada? I need to go back to Canada, dude. I need to complete my citizenship paper so I can get my dual citizenship.
Yeah, you do.
So I can cross the border easy. You're not coming with your dad next week?
No, not to the 70th.
Come
but
on.
we'll be down in August. We'll be doing the parks in August.
Okay. Wait, who's
and
we?
then, my family, like mom, dad, wife, sisters, their partners.
Ooh.
Oh, your dad's
You have a
coming
wife?
Yeah, I have a lovely wife. Her name's Renee.
How did I spend all this time with you and I didn't know you had a wife?
I don't know, because we were nerding out about other stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry, Renee.
But yeah, and then we are talking potentially about doing something for October for Back to the Future.
That would be awesome. But I want to go up there. I want to ride in your Ecto 1 too. Wait, is that one of the ones you can't ride in?
No, I mean everything runs and drives.
Do the people where are you, Chilliwack or somewhere? You're like in a little town. So
Chilliwack, British Columbia, yeah.
So does everybody in that town just like numb to the movie cars? They're just like, there goes the Ghostbusters, whatever, no big deal.
I don't think so. I think it's still pretty surprising. I just drove the Ecto 1 on Friday. I took some special guests for a quick ride around the block, and we still get lots of waves and honks with all the people out in the farmlands here where we are.
That's a freaking cool, dude. I want to
And
just take a car like that.
'cause we just had like our big downtown car show, so we brought all our Jurassic Park vehicles.
Yeah, I saw
out,
that.
And we brought our crushed Explorer and actually dropped it off the trailer right.
I saw that, dude.
We have an area in our downtown Chilliwack area called Five Corners, and it's like the main hub. It's all these roads come together, and our clock tower is there. And so we got to drop our crushed upside down Explorer off in the middle of the street and have it sit there all day. We had Optimus and all 3 Bumblebees out there.
You need a freaking Batmobile though. You guys don't have a Batmobile, right? Like of any kind.
No Batmobiles, no.
But if you're gonna get
That's
a
hilarious.
Batmobile, which one are you gonna go for? 89 or 66?
66 probably,
Oh.
if that ever came across. There's been a couple opportunities for a 66 Batmobile. 89 is just like so big. Like
It seems
the
impossible
Ecto
to
1.
drive.
That's it. It's undrivable.
That's like my favorite car
If-
of all time. Never sat in one, but from what I hear, it's like
Justin.
impossible to see out of.
Justin.
You know,
What are
a
we
guy?
doing? Not only do we know a guy, the closest thing I have to a dad owns one.
Shut up.
Owns the Keaton one, and it's in Orange County, and
Shut
we can go see
up.
it anytime you want.
I've
What?
been in it. I've sat
She's
in it.
been in it. I've been in
I've
it.
pressed the
I've driven
buttons.
it.
It's like the hero car,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the Anton First, like.
It's from I don't know if it was used in the first movie or not, but it's definitely the hero from the second movie with the Pratt and Whitney engine and all that shit.
What
yeah,
the heck?
the whole thing.
Jay's gonna make my dreams come true.
No, I am. So we're gonna go to Jay Leno's garage,
Oh,
and we're gonna go put
to
you in the
Jay
Batmobile
Leno's
down
garage.
in
Jay
Orange
Leno will
County.
let me film in his garage. Yeah, here we are in Jay Leno's garage.
I would lay off that a little bit.
Yeah.
If you might. I mean,
That's probably not gonna be
He's probably used to it though.
probably.
I'm not out here on Dave's set calling him Jay Big Jaw Leno though, am I?
No.
See, I always wondered if they ever like to call each other, patch things up, and like chit chat, like, hey, how's it going? Well, they just do their little thing.
Mhm.
They must. Come on, Dave patched things up. He knows secret information.
I don't know how secret it is. I do have information.
See, he's got information. I want to know.
It's not
What's
my
in
place
the
to say it.
box?
No. Okay.
This is a lovely box from Justin.
I'm gonna go creep on your card
Wow.
club then, and I'm gonna go meet Jay Leno, and I'm gonna ask him.
I'll just bring you.
I go, Jay, what's up with Dave? What's his problem?
I'm sure he'll talk to you about it. I mean, you saw how forthcoming he was on this
I
show.
love how he has
So
no
the-
filter.
The first 40 minutes are atrocious. It's dribble
You know,
of like it's Chris
No,
Farley's
it
show.
was
Somebody
good.
pretending to host a talk show with the real Jay Leno. It's like a weird experiment.
Dude,
The
I
second
totally
half
get
is
this.
me getting nerdy with
Nah.
Jay Leno about late night, and that's actually pretty interesting
some-
because like
Yeah, there were
everyone
more
took
late
their
night
hats off.
stories in the second half, but I'll tell you what's funny is I do this all the time. When I'm filming something and I go film something and I just think this is garbage because I'm stressed out, I'm in
Nice,
a bad
nice.
mood. I just
Because
in
you knew I
case,
was going to
just
ask
in
you to do
case,
it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But I was like, but then I'll film something. I'll go, that is just garbage. I was having the worst day ever, and then other people will love it, and I can't see it that way because I remember
know-
what I felt like.
I know what
That's
you're
you
saying.
with Jay Leno.
No, I know what you're saying. I have those. Of course, I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
those.
yeah.
This is exceptionally bad. It's exceptionally bad. Look at the comments on that episode. It's just talking
might
about
be my
this.
next-
You got to lose this. Everything is atrocious about Nicole. You got to get rid of this girl. She's horrible. She laughs at nothing.
That might be my next band name.
And I'm like, well, that's not a problem. We took care of that.
Exceptionally
She's dead. Thanks a lot.
No.
Yeah, well done.
But the other guy, you can't do anything about him. He's still here.
If we just fire those hosts.
Right. But then whose dining room? Who's going to come in here and do this show every day if we get rid of me? It's my dining room.
I'll come and do it while you're on the road.
You should.
Welcome to late night playset.
I like whoever said it's late show with Dustin
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Late night with Dustin. That was a good
Yeah,
one.
I'll be the show after your show,
Yeah.
but it's in
Yeah.
the same desk.
Yeah.
I'll be the Carson Daly.
Yeah,
Night
it was
Playset.
late night
Yeah,
play
yeah.
set with Justin. That's awesome.
I'll be
Love
the
that.
Carson Daly of this network.
Tales from Random. Oh, that's the last call.
Yeah,
the
just
final.
the very last
the
call.
final send-off.
Before those really long medical commercials.
I worked on.
That you're like, you
And the
think it's gonna go
CDs.
back to a show and it doesn't. Yeah, and then what's his face from the Who shows up and
Oh
with
my
his lazy
God.
eye trying to sell CDs. You're like, what happened? I thought there was TV.
Hang on, who's got a lazy eye from the Who?
It's what's his
Pete Townsend. Pete Townsend.
the singer.
Pete Townsend.
Roger Daltrey.
Roger Daltrey.
He's got a little bit of a wandering, doesn't he?
I never noticed.
I only noticed in those commercials. I was always like, does he have like an eye thing? I never noticed that from the Who. You know, he's always singing and.
I worked
Remember
on CSI.
he sold those
I don't remember
I
that.
didn't remember him doing
CDs
the-
late at night. Oh, okay.
Columbia
Is it just
House.
me?
Tell me how am I
That's what I mean.
supposed
He
to
would.
do?
Roger
That's
Daltrey
what
wouldn't
I'm
sell his.
thinking
They
of.
No,
wouldn't
they
sell
were like
Who
it was like
CDs.
it was like one of those like great rock
The
from the
greatest
60s.
hits.
Oh,
Yeah, like one of those great.
100%.
Now you can buy the whole collection
I mean,
or whatever.
there
And
were
it's
so
like,
many
hello,
back
I'm
in the
Roger
day.
Daltrey. You really want this music, you know? And you're like, okay, this is a cool commercial. Like, when is the TV coming back on? It never comes back on. It's
You
just
should see.
Now
more
that's
infomercial.
music.
You
Right.
buried the
Remember
lead.
those
If you had said the one where the Who sells out, I would have said, "Oh yes, of course, I
the one
remember
with the
that."
Who sells out, yeah.
So, Tales from Randomland,
Yeah, there it is.
Volume 1.
Yeah, that's a joke that didn't land. Turns out if you put volume 1 on a book, everyone in the world just goes, "Where's volume 2?"
Yeah.
Well,
And
or
then you
when
go,
it-
that's the joke. There's no volume. There's not going to be a volume 2.
Oh, that
And
is
they
a bad joke.
And then they go,
So you're
that's
not-
not funny.
Right? Yeah. Well, you haven't spent a
It's
lifetime
like,
in comedy.
But now I think if I write,
Hang on. What's that, Canada?
It's like History of the World Part 1.
that's exactly what I was trying to do. So now I have to write 2 more books and call them something completely different, volume 1, so I can do the volume 1 trilogy.
Oh my god.
Although,
And that's how I'm going to
That's pretty
save the
good.
joke. That's
so
how
honestly,
I'm going to save it.
you pull that off, and then you do have
Yeah.
a joke.
So-
then that's a long game.
I
Otherwise,
gotta
this
write
is
2 more books.
otherwise this is
And that was hard to
mediocrely
write.
clever.
That's what I did during COVID, and you did this.
It's almost the same.
Did you already? Can I ask something? Did you already have the desk in your house?
Yeah.
And then you went, I know what we'll do.
No. This was a dining room. This was our regular dining room. It
You
was like
just
we would
ate off
write
the
in here-
desk?
No.
It's
This was our
very-
dining room with a dining room table and chair. This was a dining room. Imagine
Where
a
was
house
this
with a
then?
dining. Stop it! Listen to me. Imagine just a dining room here.
Right.
And Nicole and I sat at the dining room table and did a
windows.
podcast.
Oh, okay. So you were doing the podcast already.
Correct.
Okay.
And then
How did the desk
unbeknownst
come
to-
into it?
Correct. It was because the desk became and the chairs became available to us, and I obviously had this little bit of history in my pocket.
And it works.
Yeah.
That's so
I wired
crazy.
it up.
That's so
Because
freaking
if you
cool.
can't do this, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's
That's the
like you
best
said
part of
before,
the
it's
story.
this.
Yeah, see that, I knew this part of the story because you told me in Astoria. I didn't really know how you got the desk.
Totally legitimate. The other stuff is fully legitimate. That's why we don't mind showing it.
No, it's fine. Well, of course it's legitimate.
so
yeah,
anyway,
you wouldn't be on
so
TV
we-
with a stolen desk.
That's right.
Ah!
That's right.
You'll never catch me. You can never catch me alive.
So then when the stuff became available, we switched it out for the dining room table, but it looked ridiculous. It
Yeah.
was like the Seinfeld episode with Kramer's apartment.
Yeah.
Where they find the set and it was like
Right.
that.
Merv
And
Griffin.
we're back!
The
you
Merv
know?
Griffin show.
Yeah. And it was painful. So me, and I don't know that other people saw that, but like it's all I could see.
No,
right?
but when I watched that Seinfeld episode, I remember thinking, how sick would it be if you could get Conan O'Brien set at that time, whatever that time period was, like mid-90s. I remember thinking, I would love that. I would totally
It's
do that to my
hilarious
living
me that
room.
you're
Or the
such a
Muppet
Conan
Show.
fan. Oh, now you're talking.
Or do the Muppet Show as your whole house. And then I met a guy who did the Muppet Show. He built that set in his house, a
What do you mean?
miniature version of it. His
Wait.
name's Andy Walmsley. He's a set designer. He does like, he did
I'm
a
just
ha-
picturing the proscenium and Statler and
Yeah,
Waldorf
yeah.
and
What do you-
everything.
no, not that part. The backstage part.
Oh,
Like,
with the
with
Star's
the
door
store,
and
Star
Kermit's
doors,
and
yeah.
the Scooter's phone.
So his name's Andy Walmsley. He did Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He did this So You Think You Can Dance and all those shows.
Great.
America's Got Talent and all that. He does all the sets, the big.
Shiny
set.
floors.
He does the New Year's Eve. Not Dick
Rockin'
Clark.
New
Who
Year's
is it
Eve.
now? It's
It was,
Ryan
Dick-
Seacrest.
Yeah.
He does all that stuff. So Andy Walmsley has the biggest private collection of Muppet replicas in the world.
I wonder if this is my guy.
In Vegas.
Does he have a Instagram?
Yeah. I
Is-
don't know what it is. I think it's just Andy Walmsley, maybe. But he built this
I follow
Muppet
a guy
Show
who's
set.
Oh my god.
So I went and filmed the episode, and he's like, yeah, you got to film because we're tearing it all down.
What?
And he kind of tore it down. He actually repurposed
Andy
it.
what? Walmsley?
Walmsley. Walmsley. He,
Oh, got it.
He created a new show called Artie's Show, and he's got this puppet that teaches kids how to do art.
okay, we need to put all of these resources together because it is my absolute dream to.
He's the best, dude.
He
let me wear his full-size Sweetums costume and go running down the street in his like
You
private.
guys want to go to Hollywood?
Yes, and he's in this private community where like the mayor lives and stuff, and I'm running down the street as Sweetums going, Jack, not named
Jack
Jack
Job.
Job. Yeah. Best movie ever.
Well, it is.
I'm
the
so
best
glad
movie
you
ever.
quoted the Muppet movie back at me.
it's
Like,
the best
oh,
movie
we're
ever.
friends forever now.
But specifically, it's
Nobody
it's
ever
excellent.
talks about the Muppet
I
movie.
also go deep on Muppets in Manhattan.
The only reason I ever
I
wanted
can't
to
explain
be,
why I
it's
love that
so
movie
good.
so much, but that movie's so
Last time I was
good.
in New York, I went and found it's a McDonald's now where the diner was and
Oh,
everything.
where,
I was
yeah,
losing my
where-
mind. People's just People's.
Pete's.
Yeah,
People's
Pete's.
just People's, yeah.
Oh.
There's so much good stuff in that movie that people don't realize. And the cameos are ridiculous. Joan Rivers, Gregory Hines, on and on.
Kermit in the Muppet
Whew.
movie is the
Exhausted.
only reason I want to be
Anybody
in any kind of entertainment because Kermit, you know, the guy comes in, he'll be rich and da-da-da, and Kermit's like,
Oh,
I don't
Dabby
care.
Coleman
Yeah.
is in it,
He's
and,
giving-
and Raymond Burr is in it.
Really?
Yeah. Or Orson Welles.
Yeah, Orson
Welles
Welles
is in it.
And Kermit doesn't give a crap
They're,
about any of that.
they're interchangeable. by
And
the
then
way.
he goes, you can make millions of people happy. He goes, millions of people happy. So the short answer to your how did I end up on YouTube is like,
Boom.
I was like, oh, I could make like a few people happy. That's better than whatever I'm doing, you know.
There should be a volume 2.
Nah. We
Or
can't
a
ever do
bunch
that
of
now.
volume
There'll
ones.
be
I
a
like
bunch
that.
of
Yeah.
volume ones.
Or just skip to 3 and really
So
just
they
keep
can
Oh,
go to
see
box set.
now. So
That would also
she
work.
just so
That would
that's
also
so now
work.
that so when there's your comedy.
Tales from Randomland Volume 3, and you're like, what the hell?
What was it? We watched something where they put the kid sends the chickens around the school, and
That's a
there's
great
only 4
idea.
chickens, but he numbers them 1, 2, 3, 5.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
So that-
God.
So they
so that-
all think there's a
So they're
missing chicken?
constantly they will forever be looking
That's
for the 4th chicken.
hilarious.
Oh my gosh. I have 2 chickens at home. I should have named them 1 and 3.
Yeah.
That's so genius.
It's excellent.
Burton Dew, we love
Oh my
Burton Dew.
gosh.
This is awesome.
We're never going to get to your card questions. Sorry.
I don't care. I don't care. So that's the other thing. It's not that kind of show. Nobody
Okay,
gives
good.
a shit.
Good.
And I don't care anymore.
Nobody cares.
I used to try to keep it together for the
well, I
purposes
care.
of
I'm
Nicole.
trying to keep it together. I'm trying not to squirm. I'm a squirmer. Me
I know
and
you have
chairs.
moved that chair everywhere.
Where
I've
am I?
never seen somebody move it as much as
yeah,
you.
no, it's moving. It's drifting.
You can put it. You can be wherever you want, but the
No.
lighting and the sound is best in a
I
certain
like
place.
to be here.
I realized that I bent this bill, but it's probably not a
You're
bendable
supposed
bill
to.
type of. I
No,
think
you're
it's
supposed to.
Are you sure it's not
Yeah,
a straight one?
Keep it nice and bent. Keeps the sun out of your eyes when you're
But
driving.
yours looks straight to me. I would have
No,
bent it.
Bend.
it doesn't.
No, yours is it's a
Now I'm Kip.
slight bend.
But then every time I try to do that, I go, "Ooh, you don't do that with trucker hats.
I do
Trucker
it.
Yeah,
hats
but
are."
that looks good.
I
It
curl
does?
them up. Yeah,
Well,
I
it's-
curl them up.
Trucker hats are so funny.
I
They're
pull
so
them out of the
I
box
know.
and curl them.
Would you be offended if this was just on the set somewhere and I
No,
didn't wear it
I'm
all
not
the time?
offended.
Because I love this hat and your logo so much. I didn't know it was you, but we were all complimenting Adam the Woo's hat when
Really?
we were in Astoria, and then everybody was telling me like, "Oh no, that's a Justin," and I didn't know.
He's
of course.
wearing it around France. I was stoked because at least I'm there in spirit. I was gonna go with them, and then I was like, I have not been home in like months.
Oh yeah, the rat
Muppets
skating
Take
with the butt,
Manhattan.
boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, where they're doing the
Yeah.
back. It's great.
The Muppets Take Manhattan is amazing, but dude, Great Muppet Caper also. Those 3
Great
movies,
cameos in that too. But you know what? I don't think that's as good a movie.
it's
Okay, so here's
happiness
the.
of- nah, because the whole
it's-
Charles Grodin thing, I'm like whatever, but the
It's-
rest of it is so good.
It's a movie instead of like an inspirational piece of art. The
Yeah.
first one is an inspirational piece of art. The third one, Muppets Take Manhattan, inspirational piece of art in
The
my mind.
second,
The second one is a
kind of like
movie.
the first. The Muppets do this.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
it's the Muppets in a mystery, like
Right.
a crime thriller
Like
or whatever.
like
Muppet Wizards of
Fiction does.
Oz
What's
or
his
whatever.
name?
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino. Each one's a different genre.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny? The Muppets do blaxploitation.
It's just.
Can you
Oh,
imagine?
God.
Can you imagine?
Listen, Jack. You know.
Well, I'm just thinking because those were the different. Because Jackie Brown was a blaxploitation.
Pay up, sucker. You know, like that. Like Kermit, like. Kermit doing Black
Can you do
Dynamite
it?
or something?
That's what I don't know. I want to do so many times in my real life Foghorn Leghorn, but Foghorn Leghorn's canceled because it's not okay.
What? When is Foghorn Leghorn?
I
I'm
think it's
too
some very
old.
racist stuff in the Foghorn
I'm
Leghorn
too old,
universe.
dude. Like everybody says, like you don't look as old as you are, and that's fine. But like, because I'm just a big kid. But
How old are you? Do you mind?
42.
Oh, we're close.
But
yeah.
I'm like old.
still
I'm
older.
just. I've gotten. I realize that people are like that's not old. But when I was a kid, 40 something was old.
Yeah.
Right. Like you had earned your respect by then. I guess I just haven't earned any respect. That's why.
That's what it
people
is.
say
You
I'm
just
old enough.
gotta work on the respect.
But I realize I've gotten so
None of
old
us
that like
have.
I can't change my slang.
Oh,
Right?
well,
But people
you're
think
wrong.
I'm young, so all these young people are always trying to tell me like, you gotta change with the times and this and that, and I'm like, I can't. I feel like I understand now why old people don't change.
Do you still say retarded?
I try not to.
Ooh, yeah.
That's
Okay.
a bad word. Try not
That's
to.
what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
so
You know what's sad about
it's-
that word is it still would be a great word to describe a situation that's been slowed down or the progress has been
Retarded.
Right.
Yes. So I use that all the time too.
But I
except
never use that word like, for a person that had any kind of.
It's tricky across the board
Yeah.
currently, although it seems to be making a comeback.
Well, it's because language shifts over time,
Yeah.
and so when you stop using it for one purpose, and you only use it for the derogatory purpose,
Right.
Now
It's-
that's the only.
now it
thing.
ruined it.
So that's the
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard flag for me. That
But the
wasn't a
R
rebel
word-
flag when I was a kid. It
Right,
was called,
right.
No, it wasn't a.
It wasn't a Confederate
It
flag.
was called the rebel flag
Right, it's a
because there
rebel-
was a different Confederate flag,
We had
and then there was a
Confederate
different.
flags at my high school.
yeah, I lived
Where are
in
you
To
from?
Florida.
Savannah High School in Anaheim, and when we were in the band, we were the Savannah Rebels, and we had these big old Confederate flags. They got
Right.
rid of them halfway through my high school
Wow.
time because the State House stuff was going on and
Yeah.
all that. But that I kind of understood because we would go to Compton and stuff, and our flag girls would have these freaking Confederate flags, and
That's-
we'd all just be like, "Oh man,
Right, what are we
Like,
doing?
What are we doing?
Like,
you
what are
know?
we doing?
God.
What were you going to say?
I was gonna say I lived in Florida, and they were everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I had neighbors in my house.
The flags.
The rebel flag,
the
yeah.
Confederate flags. There are like certain houses that I'm
Ah.
like, I'm not passing this house.
Yeah. It is funny because now that they've disappeared, right?
Oh,
And-
they haven't disappeared.
Well, now that you don't see them as
You
much.
see the Trump flags instead, actually.
And I'm driving through like middle America, like I'm driving through Oklahoma or Missouri somewhere, and then you're on some weird back road, and you're having a great day, and you turn the corner and there's like one ramshackle house with the big old rebel flag, and then you go, and I never would have done that 20 years ago because they were everywhere, but now that they're more scarce, I'm like, ooh, who's the last rebel? Like,
So
do I
well-
need to
But even
worry?
20
So-
years ago, as a Jewish woman,
I-
I was still like,
You really?
see?
Yeah, that indicates to me that you are unsafe.
Yeah. See, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I agree with you nowadays, but my childhood that wasn't the case. It meant you
It
were.
felt like it was like, this guy's into biker stuff. Like, I'd wear like
it was
a-
counterculture
Yeah,
at
I'd
the
wear
time.
like when I was in the punk rock band, you tattoo like kamikaze stuff on
Right.
you, and it just felt like it was part of that when I was a kid.
Right.
But then I got older, and it's like, oh yeah, that. I wonder how it makes other people feel, you know? And
Yeah.
you're just like, oh.
That's where it comes down
But
to.
I also grew up in Southern California, and I
Represent.
felt like growing up here, it wasn't. I didn't really know there was any of that stuff in the world until I started traveling in
Because
the band
you
and going
had-
to the South.
Because you had all representation kind
Yeah,
of.
it was kind of everybody got along with everybody.
Growing
you
up
know?
in New England, it's the oldest part of this country, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of people had those. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the yellow flag with the snakes on it.
Gadsden
Don't
flag.
don't
Yeah.
don't tread on me. And it was these people
Live free or die.
they're correct. They're
Right.
referencing the Revolutionary War.
Which is why I love the
Okay,
Gadsden flag.
so
yeah.
right,
It's
but
great.
nowadays it is up and it's places and it gets like you
And
said.
I
it-
used to
it's
fly the
represented
Gadsden
in a
flag in
different
front
way.
of my house because I love the American Revolution and the
Right.
history and stuff. Now I feel like I can't because people want to make it political.
Well, but it's the same thing with the Dukes of Hazzard flag.
Yeah.
These are all things that are not okay anymore
I
because
can-
they've been, like
I'm
you
like
said,
the
once it's
least-
used for this.
For a
The
different
the
purpose.
fucking swastika was a symbol of peace and beauty for
was.
many
Isn't that-
cultures
Dude,
before
and then you
Nazism.
see it sometimes in
Symbol.
you see it in old like 1920s buildings or something, and it's in
It's
the
in
tile
the New York
work.
Public Library.
Yeah,
it's
and
all
you're
over the
like,
place. Any
ooh.
Masonic anything has
It's
the swastika in it.
And you know the salute, which I'm not going to replicate, but the salute, we had that same. What is it called? The Bellamy salute.
You talking about Elon Musk?
Yeah,
deal?
we used to do that to our flag during the Pledge of Allegiance.
Whoa!
Until after World War
we
II.
would hand on heart, I think.
Yeah.
Hand on heart,
After
but-
World War II, they changed. It was called the Bellamy salute. They changed it because they went, fascists are kind of ruining it. Or
So-
during World War II, actually.
Kind of
Okay,
ruining it,
so
right?
you don't mean when you were
Yeah.
grown.
No, I meant
okay.
I meant
I thought
before.
you meant when you were growing
yeah,
up. That's what
no,
I was like,
no.
what?
Before the U.S. was in the war,
Okay,
that's how
that
we
makes
saluted it
sense.
because the U.S. was always obsessed with being the next Rome and the Roman Republic, and they thought that was the Roman salute. And you see it in those old French paintings. I tried not to
That's
make
true.
the gesture.
No,
as an example,
but you're right about the
yeah,
Roman.
the French paintings. Those paintings in the Louvre where they've got the Romans doing that and all
even
this
in the
stuff.
chariots and all that
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It's
And
like
they
that.
would be doing that. So
What's
America
this?
was obsessed with
Did
that.
you take the hat off and do this? Is that what
Yeah,
it
you
is?
take the hat
Yeah,
off,
that's what
or,
we
or
all
you do
did.
this.
That's
Or just hand
symbol
on.
of
I pledge
respect to
allegiance.
take the
Hand on,
off.
yeah.
Hand
Hat
on heart.
off, hand on heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a baseball game in about 15,
But
20 years.
I'm
Do they still do that shit?
Yeah, they do.
They do?
I'm like the least like political person in the world because I just love everybody and I want everybody to get along.
Me too. Also, nobody's right and nobody's wrong. It's a gray area. Nothing in the world is black and white.
As a person with a uterus, I differ.
We're all just gonna die.
You're looking
one
at
day,
one.
somebody-
You're looking at
Someone
one
is-
thing.
I know,
You're looking
but-
at one thing. On that thing, yes, okay,
Yeah.
people have it. But if
I
you
think
go
there are
across the
multiple
board,
things like
people
that.
aren't good or bad based on their political party.
I
They
see
just
the
aren't.
default.
But their behaviors are.
The default.
That's
in
you
human-
saying that. I'm not saying that. People inherently are not necessarily good or bad, in my opinion, from driving around this country a lot. It does seem to be that there are good people in the world and there are bad people in the world, and they
Yeah.
have both political beliefs, from my experience.
See, but you just said there are no bad people. And
Oh,
when
no, I
said-
didn't mean that.
when
No.
I said there are bad behaviors.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
mean there was no
Harmful
bad people.
beliefs and there are bad behaviors. The topic of whether or not someone is a bad person is a different topic
Yeah.
than beliefs and behaviors.
I hear you, and I can't have this. That's not what this show's about, for one. And secondly, I don't agree with you, because show me anybody in the world who is alive and they are both good in some ways and not so great in some ways.
You mean I'm
So
not
when-
so
I'm
great
not
in
saying
some
that
ways?
There are no bad people. I'm saying they're harmful beliefs and there are bad behaviors.
I
And
guess.
good people can have harmful beliefs and bad behaviors.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, well, then
yeah.
we all do. Yeah, I
Yeah,
100%
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm
You
sorry.
guys are saying
I'm
the same
sorry.
thing. And
I'm
I'm sitting
sorry.
here like, oh, mom and dad are fighting.
No, and I'm not fighting. No,
No,
oh my
no,
God,
I'm
no.
kidding,
She's makes great points.
Yeah.
No, but I just like I try and like stay out of that because I'm too stupid.
That's
I'm
my
too
point, and
stupid
we
to
don't
know
do that on this
everything,
show, but
you
she
know?
does all the time, and it irritates the
I'm
fuck out of me.
I was like, I've gotten
I mean,
to
I
this.
live in a different body than you, so.
I've gotten to the age where I say like weird stuff sometimes, and then I'm like, oh, that's such a dated thing to say or something. I can't even think of an example.
Oh,
It'll
but
just
I
be
do it
something-
too, because I'm an old guy all the time, and she, honestly, it's usually somebody who's a little more in
And someone
touch
will
with these
tell me,
things
and
who
then
points
someone
it
will
out
tell
to
me,
me,
like,
and then I go, I don't
"Hey,
think
we
you're right about
We
that.
don't
And
really
then
make those jokes anymore, and then you go, oh, you're probably right.
3 minutes later, I go,
But you
now
know
that I've
when
thought
you're
about it, I
growing
go,
up in, like-
okay, you're
People do
kind of
that to
right.
me,
But you
too.
know, like
You're
in
right.
the
I learned,
90s,
you know, like I only know what I know because
Yeah.
I learned it, and then it's.
you know, like in the 90s though, it was like all about like shock jock stuff,
Yeah.
like, all the way till the first iteration of Twitter, really. And then that was it was all about like being shocking to be funny, and I just grew up in that time,
Right.
And so like my instinct was always to be like that by accident, and it was being on YouTube that tamed me down. Or like, okay, here's a good example: Spaz. I grew up my whole life.
Can you read this comment for
I
us?
know, from Muppets to Nazis. When I was a kid, my dad's from Canada, right? And everyone would say like, they'd be like,
If you're listening to this podcast, you'll have to go to video and read Daryl Boggs' comment
yeah,
on
he
this.
says, love the diversity of the podcast and the smooth transition from Muppets to Nazis.
Oh
But
my God.
he would say spaz, right? Or like, quit being a spaz. And that just meant hyper to me. And everyone said that in America. But then social media comes along, and I said, something like, I'm a total spaz, right? About myself. But then someone in England's like, oh, we don't say that here. Because there, that's like saying the R word.
But that is here too, because that's
But
what it.
but
comes
it
from.
never had like been, you know.
Yeah.
But then it made me go, oh, and then it made me think about like, oh, well then I
She
gotta
does
stop
that to me all the time.
I gotta stop saying that thing that I've been saying.
She's
my
more in
whole
touch
life,
with the
you
younger
know?
people
Yeah,
than
don't
I
know.
am, and then
never
she
know.
helps me be better in the real
I know.
world
That's
because
why
I get
have every-
uncomfortable here.
Every video I make, I have somebody watch it before it goes up, just in
You
case
do?
I'm saying something that I don't know is, or because I don't watch the news ever or politics.
Who
and
do-
stuff,
who's your
'cause I
proofer?
get anxiety. Like Allie will do it, or my friend Tyler, or my friend George, and it's just to make sure that I don't say something that it might be some phrase that's being used at a protest somewhere in the world, and I just said it, and I didn't like, you know what I mean?
It's
So
good to do a spot check. It's,
Yeah.
it's very self-aware of you,
I
and
have
that's how we learn and grow.
that's why when people complain or they leave a negative comment and they're like, oh, you can tell he's been, I was like, no, I'm not. And I not only am I not trying to be like controversial, but I had multiple people check this before I
Yeah.
put it online to make sure I wasn't being controversial.
And they all said I was fine,
They all
so
said it was fine, so I can say whatever I want.
yeah, see?
See?
This
Now I'm
has
doing
been
Conan.
one weird show. This really has been. This is not at all what I thought it would be.
He says, sorry about my VHS quality.
What else would we expect from Robby?
What
I
did
feel
I
like
write
Robbie
here?
delivered perfectly.
Oh, I love
I
Robby.
agree.
I'm going to write this book to Robby, in fact.
Oh, good. And then I'll just mail it to him. Thanks.
Jay,
Yeah.
you are the best. You're even better than Jay Leno.
He's not writing that. He's not writing that.
It's very
I'm going to
creepy.
write that.
No, you're not. Don't write that. It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm so embarrassed.
You're
You're way better than the
Oh,
comments on the Jay
I like
Leno
this one.
episode say you
You're
are.
my Jay Leno.
Justin, you're gonna like this one.
You're the
New
first late night
show.
host that's ever invited me in.
New late night show, Back in Time, History with Justin.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I love history. I think that's why I don't like getting into politics now, because it hasn't become history yet.
Yes.
It hasn't been argued all the way through
Right.
and seen from everybody's
You
side.
can't- right, it's
You don't have
happening now.
everybody's biography yet.
There
You don't
it
have their
is.
personal papers yet. And so it just gives me such anxiety to try to figure out now.
Yes.
I can't do it.
So do you think that's part of it? Just that maybe I'm a little bit older and then I'm experiencing. I go, oh well,
That's part of it.
I've seen this pendulum swing a few times now.
And then
I
we were
understand.
talking about it in Astoria too. Like I've got the ADD and some touch of the
Autism.
ASD and
Yeah.
stuff, and so I can't always figure out everything now. And that time pressure to be like, no, don't you want to be on the right side? I was like, ha! I freeze, you know.
Yeah, but don't you find that manic, like that craziness around the people keeps you away from it?
Yeah, I'm just like, ah.
I mean, I gotta go. You talked about Adam the Woo needing rest. Rest is one, but also just like getting centered and grounded again after a
Yeah,
thing.
I
You
have
get
to-
wired when you go do an event, when you go do a dance thing, or when you go to
Yeah.
You have to pick and choose how you fight back against the things that are happening that are inhumane, and you have to
Yeah.
take care of yourself, because if your cup isn't full, then you can't do anything.
And see,
Mhm,
oh, I love that
mhm.
you said that.
There's a
She's
balance.
right.
Because I when I was going through my divorce and like when I wanted to literally jump off a building, like it was the worst time of my life. The only thing that would like crack that like despair and like make me breathe was the stupid YouTube videos. It was these little BBC animal clips that someone had voiced over. So like there's the famous one that
I know
everybody
exactly
remembers,
what you're
the
talking
little
about.
groundhog one where he's going, Alan, Alan, Alan,
Ow,
Alan,
ow,
Ow. Yeah,
Time.
that's it.
I love it.
That's the
Yeah!
yes. That's the only thing that would break the malaise. For
I
me.
totally agree.
So then I was doing these little Disneyland facts and things, videos online, and then I would meet people. Some of the first people I met had just lost a child who watched my show, and he had a horrible accident, and they brought his brother to Disneyland. They're like, we already had this trip booked, so we came here. And they're like, we watched your videos, and they helped a lot. And ever since that moment, and for the rest of the whole show, I've always thought. So first of all, I wasn't meant to be doing YouTube. I was going to go back to school or do something, right, with my life. And I went, well, I'm going to keep doing this as long as I can, because I don't know how many people were watching back then, 500 people. But I thought, I have the opportunity to make 500 people maybe smile today.
Yeah.
And
Right.
nobody gets that opportunity. So I was like, I'm just going to follow up with that. So I've always seen my role as being what that weird BBC thing was for me.
Yes.
Is like, I want to be that for other people. So I want people to be able to watch me. I'm not going to talk about any politics or religion or sex. I'm just going to be the distraction so that the people who are out there and smarter than me that are fighting their good fights and they know what they're talking about and they're fighting for good causes and things, I want them to be able to come back to the medical tent and I'm there with some silly water. Like, hey, we're doing Goonies. Like, relax, take a load off, and then tomorrow you get up and you can go and fight the fight. I want to be like the medic. That's
the power
like,
of
here's the
entertainment.
Band-Aid, you know? And like, today, I feel like a lot of people don't like that. They're like, what do you mean? You got to get out there and fight too. And I'm like, I don't think all of us are made to fight the same way.
Yeah.
So that's my version of the fight. It's like, I feel like I'd rather be like a Mr. Rogers. I wish I was as good as Mr. Rogers. I'm not as good of a person. But you know, like somebody who's just like, look, I'm going to love you for who you are. Go and you work it out amongst yourselves. But also I want to be able to, you know, just provide
I
some.
told you he was a good guy. Like, I didn't meet the manic YouTuber guy here. I was hanging out with this guy
Yeah,
all week.
and that's like why I kept doing it. I was like, oh my god, like, and then I went from having the biggest, because I was the only really show at Disneyland. To
Yeah, so
like,
how did that start? Because we talked about this story. You and Adam, or just you?
Well,
Who
Adam
the
was
first?
filming like his like abandoned places, and he had
Right.
done a couple of videos at Disney World, and then got himself banned because he was sneaking around backstage and stuff.
Oh, okay. But he would do
was
mainly
out-
film locations, stuff like that?
Well, he wasn't even doing that really yet.
Oh, okay.
He came out here to visit me, and then we were doing filming locations. He's always been into that stuff, but
Sure.
he came out and we were doing Back to the Future and Pee Wee, and I was in the videos with him, and he was like, why aren't you making YouTube videos? Like, I am with my buddies. And so he goes, no, but why aren't you on camera? I was like, I've been in a band. I've always been the front man. I don't want to be the front man. He was like, the shtick that I'm doing when I'm being wacky in videos, you're like that in real life. You should be on camera.
You're a perfect YouTube.
And
You and Robby Retro, perfect.
We
YouTube
had gone
characters.
to Disneyland, and I was telling him all this stuff because I grew up across the street. So I'm telling him all these like facts, and we had a cast member friend who was saying wrong facts, and I was correcting him and stuff.
Oh my
and he
God.
was like, "Why don't you do a show about Disneyland?" I was like, "Oh, I thought about it, but I was going to do it with this other guy." He's like, "You should do
It
it."
didn't even occur to me. Is that what random?
Yeah,
So stupid.
I was like,
Stupidest
because
man
I
in the
didn't want it
world.
to be just about Disneyland. So I was like, "Well, it's got to be about everything."
I
you know?
recognized that it was the Disney font. I really did. I pulled that.
Yeah.
That it
It's
was close
close.
close to the
And then
Disney
the second
D.
star.
second
too.
star to the right there. You know.
Yeah.
So then
Wow.
I was. Nobody was doing this. Me and one other guy who I didn't know existed, and he didn't know I existed. We were the only people doing a show that regularly. But there was a day where I went, a couple years in, where I went, oh, everybody in the audience is getting addicted to this one thing. I'm perpetuating the your whole life has to be about this fandom and only this, and spend all your money there and doing whatever. And I could be the guy. I could be very successful, and I was very successful. I would make 10 times the money if I was still just only doing and had stayed number one at, look at the new cup, look at the new churro. And I quit my channel, moved it over to the channel it's on now that had way less subscribers, and started over and mixed in all the road trips and all the other stuff, because I realized that I had a responsibility that if anyone's going to watch this stuff, I need to mix up and put more stuff than just Disneyland. Like, that's not healthy.
Well, I know, but what you saying that, and it worked for you.
Or it's not that it's
not
not healthy. I don't want to go down with that quote. But just to be fixated on the one thing, I thought there's so much more in the world.
Right.
And if people are watching me because they enjoy me or whatever, then like, shouldn't I give them more?
But
you
you
know?
went from one channel and moved it over to another, and that was successful for you?
Yeah, because on purpose. Because the first channel I had about 80,000 subscribers, which at that time for anybody doing Disney park, anything, or theme parks at all was huge.
Yeah, it sounds huge.
And bigger than even like more subscribers at the time. Not than Adam, but then Tim Tracker and all these other people who've done it since. And I quit and disappeared myself and just was over on this other channel no one knew about and just started over, so that it would be more of a mixture of things. And to this day, everyone's like, you're an idiot. Why did you do that?
Oh, all right.
I didn't even tell people I was moving the channel or anything. I just did it.
I'm just
I
curious.
didn't like the fame thing either, because it sounds weird using the word fame for 80,000 subscribers at a
that's
theme park.
fame.
No.
But
Hang on. I know how that works, though. Just because you have 80,000 subscribers, way more people are watching your
I was the
your video.
only person who was there every day. So there was a guy who was there on the weekends, this guy Fresh Baked, who was the other person who kind of started this. And Adam would do Disney park stuff, but he'd be kind of in and out and doing lots of stuff, right? So I was the only one who was there every single day. So people were looking for me. And because now there's thousands of TikTokers and Disney talk, and it's a whole genre of filmmaking. But when we were all starting this, there's only a couple of us. So you'd have people lined up. Disney didn't exactly like it. So to this day, I've never been invited to like a Disney media event
I don't
or
think so,
anything, because they hated me, because they're like, who is this thing? What is this? We don't like this. We can't control this.
Correct. Out of control.
There'd be a line of people, and then security would warn me that I'm going to get banned, if I'm causing disturbances and stuff. And I couldn't take that. I was like, I don't want to be famous. I wanted to make people happy. I don't care if people like me.
Right.
I don't want them to like me.
Right.
I want them to have fun with me. I don't want them to.
Right.
But then I got over that. And I used to be really weird. Like, I'd ask people, like, oh, please don't stop me while I'm filming. Mostly because I was nervous and anxious. But then I saw how people took that the wrong way. Like, oh, he's really stuck up. He doesn't want people stopping him. And then I was watching a Jerry Seinfeld thing where he was around with someone. And people were like, hey, Jerry. And whoever he was with was more shy and went, that doesn't bother you? He goes, why would I let it bother me? And that totally changed my whole mentality for that. Was like, wait a minute. If I just stop what I'm doing, let go of my own anxiety, and just give that person my full attention.
It comes down to being present, right?
Yeah, then they're happy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they're happy. Like, I'm nobody, but they're happy, and I get to make them happy. What a blessing. So I've totally changed my way of thinking, and I had to start over. So, and then now this channel is 280,000 subscribers.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So obviously you're fine then.
No.
Well, here's why I was
I
asking,
have
because
like 400. So
Everybody else with the same size channel as me is, I swear to God, making like 10 to 12 to 20 times the money I am.
Look,
So I
it's-
don't know what my problem is.
it's
Gibson!
Tell the guys I say hi. I work with them at the Goonies house in Astoria for the 40th.
Oh,
Glad
we know
everyone's
who
still
you
in
are,
contact. Yeah, we
Gibson.
sure do.
We're never gonna forget Gibson.
From the production.
Jaskowski.
From the production.
I'm never sure if I'm pronouncing. Gibson's the best.
Well, that wasn't the last name he gave me.
No, you're right. It's Reedy.
Yeah.
What's
So it might
going
not
on,
be the same.
Gibson?
It might be a different Gibson.
We just outed Gibson.
That's hilarious.
We just now the FBI knows where to find him. Sorry, Gibson.
Well, here's why I brought that up, why I was asking it, and why I'm actually kind of interested in it, because this YouTube channel has no followers, no subscribers, but it also was
We're
never.
gonna change that tonight.
It was-
Everybody
it-
pound
it
the
was-
like and smash the thing. Smash it, pound it, subscribe it, smash the chairs and the likes.
smash the button.
For when we get 1 million subscribers
No, but
on
here-
this channel, we blow up the desk.
No, but here's why I'm saying that, is because this was my private YouTube channel from 20 years ago, whenever YouTube started.
Right. That's
and
what,
I just
that's
started.
what this channel is, or the one I'm on, I think.
Oh.
No, my band one was. My band account was the first one I had. That was 2005. I think this one
Well,
was 2012.
point being, I've got stuff. I've got gag reels from old TV shows
I had
I
to
worked at.
delete
There's
all
all
that
sorts of
stuff.
crap on.
Yeah.
Well, I never did that. My point being, I wonder if we started a new channel with whatever the heck, if that would be a smarter way to go. Because you could push everything out new. We're still
Maybe.
getting rated on old metrics from an Ecto 1 video I made in 2000.
I think the main thing is just consistency. That's what YouTube rewards, and a lot of, which is why I'm such a failure, because I'm the least consistent person on the planet.
You are?
Like, you don't know if it's going to be 2 weeks on my next video, or it's going to be every day I'll have.
So you're not like Adam, who does one every day?
No, I'm totally scatterbrained. I got chronic illness.
Wait, didn't Adam say he does one every day?
Yeah, he does one every day.
That's
Like
amazing.
YouTube? I mean, I guess I'm on TikTok.
And it's a
every day,
full
but it's
edited video
different.
that he does of the day and his
Every
daily
day.
travels.
Oh my god!
The Daily Woo. it's
And
called.
he'll even tell you that some days he's sort of like, well, you wait till he's on, but he'll do some days where he's like kind of dialing it in. He'll be eating a cheese sandwich or whatever, and that's intentional because there's other days where he's like the Goonies week, where he's going all day, and he edits and uploads every day.
I haven't watched it,
It's
but my
crazy.
favorite video
For
he's put out
years,
yet.
for like a decade.
That's
I haven't even watched it yet. My favorite one that he's put out yet is talking about his anxiety after Goonies weekend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Well, I
how
could tell.
And how he had to check out for a few days just to.
Yeah, he
Decompress.
and I are wired the same but different. Where like, I'll just stay there standing. If the
How?
person that stops me on Main Street USA keeps talking, I'll stay there and keep talking.
you have health
for
issues.
4
How do you do
hours.
that?
I don't know. And he'll be like at some point like, all right, he'll just
Yeah.
wander off. 'Cause
I've
he has
also
to
watched
protect
him.
himself.
I've
you
watched
know?
people come up to a group of a bunch of YouTubers
Yeah.
in a circle, a bunch of us, and then they'll see Adam, and of course that's probably one of the reasons they came over.
Yeah.
But everyone's, oh hey, how's it going? Oh hey, I'm Retro Robby. Oh hey,
Yeah.
I'm Justin. How's it going? And Adam like, and he'd continue walking.
Because like, and I
Boundaries.
totally get that because I used to be.
And
like
I felt the
that.
same way. And then I'd go follow Adam, and we'd walk
Because
away.
who are we? We're just people. But and then when you're in the punk rock world, I'm just in the punk rock world. Who cares? Everybody's equal in that world.
That's
Doesn't matter
true.
if you're huge.
There's no
or not.
hierarchy.
If you act like you're a rock star, everyone will hate you. So you're all equal.
very
We're all
different
carrying our
concept.
own instruments.
But I learned I was so
Hey-oh.
shy that
Sorry.
in the punk rock world, I was so shy I wouldn't talk to anybody. And then people would be like, "Oh, he's stuck up. He thinks he's a rock star." And I had to learn to just talk.
Johnny
so I
Carson
can
used to
talk
do that.
forever now.
But here's the thing I want to offer you. Our nervous systems are not wired for fame. They're wired to
I know.
know about 10 people maximum.
I know.
And then when you're being visible in front of 100
Yeah.
and 500 and 10,000
And then
and
200,000.
and then you have strangers consistently coming up to you, we're not built for that. You have to create safety in your body.
And I was never, and I already had the ADD and all the stuff, and I never was good at names and stuff.
Oh, me neither.
And then to add all that to it, and all the people that you meet, and people that are talking to you, and then in 2018, I had a brain injury. It's not even a cool
Dude,
story.
what the
Oh my
heck?
god.
I had a really bad concussion. I knocked my brains out. I couldn't even see for like 5 minutes, and then I would flash and not know where I was for weeks. And it was really, 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 really bad.
That's scary.
All my memories were
Were you in
there.
an accident? What happened?
It was like all my memories, if you took them in a file folder and threw them all over the ground. So they
Wow.
weren't in order. That's why I wrote this. I was trying to do an exercise. My doctor recommended it. I was trying to put things back in order.
Holy moly.
And now it's a little better, but ever since then, I really struggle with names. Like, even more than I ever did. And there's so many names all the time. And so I'll meet people. And then now I have a problem where I meet people, and I'm pretty sure I've seen them before. But I found out it's weirder if you say, "Hey man, great to see you again," and you've never seen that person.
Right, I know.
That is
I've-
way weirder to
I've
them
so made that mistake.
than just pretending that you didn't recognize them. So I'll go, "Hey, nice to meet you." Today I saw a guy at Universal City Walk before I came here, and I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." He's like, "Oh, we actually met before," and I knew it, but I didn't want to say, "Oh, nice to see you again," because the people go, if they didn't meet you before, they get really weird. They go, "What do you mean?" It's so weird. I don't know why that's weirder. Anyway.
No, I had that happen, and then I told them who I thought they were, and then it got more awkward.
Yeah, and then it gets weirder. It doesn't
right,
get
it
any
got,
better.
right.
How are ya?
There was no getting back from it. I fucked it up.
Yeah.
big
It's
time.
How's it going?
weird. How long do you do this?
This is it. We're done.
I was going to say, it's
been 2 hours.
I'm ready to go for 2 more hours.
We usually kill it at 90 minutes, but
I'm not
this has
even
been
kidding.
crazy.
I'm
Look
ready
at
to
this.
go 2
Canada
more
even stayed
hours.
on the line. Oh, with a super crisp picture. Now we can read the Blu-rays on
Dude,
the
you
back
guys
wall. That's
know.
amazing.
Brandon should know. He
I
hung
was
out
just
with me.
watching the show.
Dude, I could do this for like 4 hours a day.
So let's start a live stream.
I swear to God, if some weird cable channel or Tubi or something came to me and like, we're doing a live thing, you want to be
Well,
on a
let's do
show
it.
for 8 hours a day?
Do
Like,
you
keep
know how
talking?
many
Like,
people that we
yeah.
know? Like my biggest problem in life is that I don't know how to capitalize on the opportunities that are all around me.
Neither. I can't ask anyone for a favor. I would have never asked you to come on your show. As cool as I think it is, I was also like all jealous of Brandon. I would have never been like, "Hey man, can I come on your?" I would have never done that. But you're
I
like,
know
"Hey,
you
come on
haven't
the
even
podcast." Like,
responded
"Yes,
to Adam
thank God."
Goldberg, who texted you the other day.
Because I'm so so
Justin.
shy, and
Oh
he's
my
the coolest,
God.
nicest guy
Yes.
ever, dude.
Agreed.
And I want to go and check out his action figure collection, but I'm like,
So-
who am I? I'm gonna go
Oh,
bug this
Jesus
guy.
You gotta
Christ.
stop
As-
that language.
as soon
I know,
as, as soon as I
Cut that
did,
shit out. You're only shy because you keep saying that you're shy.
That's why I'm not.
Everything
and I
she
know,
just
and I know,
said.
I know that's why I'm not successful. Same thing with
So
Disney.
you know what? Here, I'm gonna tell you. My coach is Whitney Hewland, and this is what she does.
Ooh.
And it's really fucking good, and I think it'll serve you.
Wait, is that the end of the sentence? I
Yes.
thought you were about to tell me the wisdom. I was
No,
like, wait.
she's going to hook you up with
Oh,
Lindy.
okay, this
No,
is what
I'm
she
gonna,
does.
I'll send you.
'Cause,
her-
like,
just start to follow her on TikTok and YouTube, whatever.
Like there'll be people that work at Pixar, like executive people for like high people at Disney, and they'll watch my stuff and they'll go, "How come you're not invited to the thing and the thing?" I go, "I don't know.
Put me on the
Somebody
list.
in the middle hates
Put me on the list, right?
And so,
Well,
but
don't
I'm
stop saying
No,
that.
that's a fact.
Yes.
That's actually a fact.
But it doesn't
But
matter.
we haven't figured.
That person
You're
in the middle is
perpetuating the
probably
wrong part of the
gonna
story.
We
Just
haven't.
say,
yeah,
"Ooh,
we haven't figured
put
out
me
who.
on the list."
When we figure out who, we'll be able to.
You are
know.
your own worst
Don't worry,
enemy.
they're gonna
I know.
talk.
That's what I'm saying. That's
we
the
need
point
to
of the
be friends
story.
so I can help you be you.
So they'll go, well,
Can
why
you
don't
help me be me?
Why
'Cause
don't
I'm
you
not
call
so great either.
Marsha? Why don't you call Marsha over and whatever? And I'm like, I'm not calling Marsha. Who's Marsha? I don't know who Marsha is.
Marsha.
You know what I mean, though? Like, they'll be like, well, why don't you call my buddy this person, that person? They'll do you a favor. I'm like, no, that's cool. I'll just stay home.
Is anyone else exhausted? I'm so exhausted.
Why do you get so exhausted? I'm excited.
You know what? Actually, that's true. That's the same problem that happened. I got all of your energy, and then I had it, and then I was like, "Oh, you're
The
not
more-
really used to
Now
this."
you're like, oof.
The more tired I get,
when
the
he
more
leaves,
excited
I go.
get. But Allie's knows this now about me. The more tired I get, and the more like why you're justifiably exhausted, the more I start to get hyper. Like, let's go crazy. This is why I don't drink
Makes no
anymore.
sense.
Yeah.
I used
Oh,
to,
you did
because
used to
then
drink over
the
parties.
whiskey would come
Me
into
too.
it. Then the pants would come off. We're all running around.
Yeah, me too.
Let's go
Right,
for a
life of the
ride.
party.
Yeah.
Everything's the best idea
Then
in
you
the
have
world.
a couple friends die in DUIs and things, and you go,
Oh my God.
well, I don't
Jeez.
think I want to do
Well,
that
you know
anymore.
what?
Right.
We bookended, didn't we?
I'll
Yeah,
still
we
have
sure
it.
did.
Time to
I'll
wrap
still
it up.
have a
We sure
drink
did.
every once in a while, but
Just
in
bookend
a
it
safe
with,
and sane
drive safe.
environment, you know. Was that it?
I don't know.
That's the show.
What's the name of the band?
It was called The Scarred. Okay, we'll go through all the questions. Lightning round.
It's really easy to do 4 hours when you're hanging with buddies.
Yes. Let's do 4 more hours.
We know that it all went well. Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna have to pee again, right?
Adam
Adam F. Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Text him back, Justin.
I have my phone, or I would.
Indeed, we do.
Maybe Adam's watching.
Dustin, Mario, Johnson, exactly.
Dude, I want Adam to woo in here.
Me too.
You know what? Let's let Adam host then. If he doesn't do podcasts, he can host the podcast and we'll sit over here.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's adorable.
So some of my favorite shows are the ones where I don't have to sit here. Somebody else does.
Oh, next time I'll
Because
have you here.
I can. This is wireless. I can do this from anywhere.
I was trying to
can sit
interview
over there.
him in the green room. I was like asking him all the questions about this. He's like,
Dude.
well, that's a story for another time. So
I
next
gave-
time I'll sit there, you sit here, and we'll find out all about Jay Ryan.
Gave him a call to. That's what people need. More Jay Ryan.
We
Great.
need more Jay Ryan.
That's fantastic.
That's why they're
Okay.
here.
I think it's very funny that I gave him a 4:30 call time. He shows up at
4:05. 4:05.
4:05. And all of the energy in the world. He wants to see the set. We're shooting in here first. Then we go sit in there, and we're in there for 50 minutes.
Sorry.
I never went to the bathroom. I never brushed my teeth. All the things.
God.
I just keep mouth washing.
That's adorable.
Let me
Atrocious
smell.
breath today. No, it's bad.
Okay.
It's atrocious. It's
Wait,
Too
but
much
have you
Too
ever
much
told,
coffee
like,
today.
the whole desk story and all the things and see?
What's that story?
Someone should sit there and interview you about the whole thing and how you did this.
I have an
and all
idea.
this stuff.
I have an idea. Are you
It's your
ready
show.
for it?
You're allowed to
No,
tell
no,
me
no.
whatever you
I'm
want.
gonna really flip it.
Okay.
I want to do that with you.
Yeah.
But for your channel.
Boom.
Okay.
You sit here and interview. I'll sit there,
Okay.
but we'll do it on your channel. You can still have all this, but you do it on
I
your
should have
channel.
brought Mike so we could do it now.
Okay. You don't think any of this is
No,
being recorded?
No. We'll do it again. A little bit better, more cohesive than what I did today.
Yeah.
Because what I did today was sloppy.
What?
When?
No, for my thing. You haven't seen it yet. The
Oh.
video. The video that I've been filming. I'm like at City Walk, like I'm gonna go see David Letterman's desk. It's just stupid.
Oh, you're very funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm honored that you were here.
I'm honored that I was here.
I'm honored that you are here currently.
I'm honored to touch the desk. I didn't think
I'm
you were
honored
gonna
that
do
I'm here.
Yeah.
Why? Well, that's
I'm
very
glad
s-
Brandon's
Watching all of
here.
you.
Honestly, he's one of my new
I
favorite
love
people. I'm
these-
hassling him like crazy. I'm like, do you want to talk tomorrow? He's like, I'm busy tomorrow. How about
have a
next
life.
week?
The end of that weekend, I was like, I wish all those guys lived in my hometown, and I wish we all worked somewhere together. I was like, those
Yeah.
guys are all awesome.
Didn't it feel like we all should be at the TGI Fridays from Waiting? Like we're all just that crew?
Exactly. Something like that.
Shenanigans.
Or like
Shenanigans, yeah.
Empire Records or something.
Oh, Empire Records. What a
Something,
great pull,
you
Empire
know?
Records.
Yeah. Now Retro Robby would be holding up an Empire Records t-shirt. Check out what I got. He'd have like a Liv Tyler action figure or something.
Oh my
You
gosh.
guys can come and work in my video store.
Dude.
Oh,
that.
I would love that too.
That's my dream job. Too bad I'll never have that gig.
Me too.
That
They
was
all
like
shut down
literally one of my dreams. I was like, I'm gonna be a Muppeteer, or I'm gonna work at a Blockbuster, and then they closed them
Go
all.
work at Vidiots.
Where's that? Where's Idiots?
Is it Silver Lake or Echo Park or some shit?
I haven't
like
been
that?
there
If
yet.
there's a video, is it back in business? Because we used to have one on the west
Yes.
side, but it went out of business.
Back
Oh,
with a
it's been here
vengeance.
for-
Oh, it's
35
back.
millimeter
Oh, thank
screen.
you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
it used to be
didn't
on
know
like by over by the Pico
Yeah,
Bowl.
yeah, yeah,
Remember?
Yeah. I have a friend of a friend that works there, and she actually does comedy shows there where comedians improvise based off of movie clips that she shows. It's fucking brilliant.
Dude,
What?
we're so going to that. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, let me look
Yeah,
and see
they-
what the next one is.
I feel like
They do great screenings, and they have a video rental place in video.
Yeah.
what?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Too
Well,
far
it
from my
used to
house to work
be
there.
either sales or
I
rentals.
want, maybe they'll let me guest work there just for one day, and then I can go. Oh no, I don't want this job.
If you make a video of it, I'm sure they'd let you do anything, right?
I don't know. Is that how it works?
I don't know.
Do you know what's funny? Every time I come to LA, I feel like I don't belong. I'm an Orange County boy. It's like crossing the Great Barrier. But I recorded my last album in those apartments right next door to the Toyota dealership right here off the 134.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time in NoHo
Right across
here
from the
in
Comedy
Toluca
Chateau.
Lake. Yeah.
From Knight Rider.
You know where
Season
the
1 Knight
Toyota
Rider.
dealership is there, and if you go down that street, Hortense, the first
Hortense, yeah.
old crappy apartment complex, all the rest are all fancy now. We recorded all our like records in
shit.
there and stuff. Just all these guys living on the floor
In
and
your
everything.
apartment?
Yeah, it wasn't my
Amazing.
apartment, but yeah,
Somebody's
it was
apartment.
called the Nest because we used to hatch eggs in there or whatever.
It's another. Here we go. I mean, 2
Okay.
hours and 10 minutes.
I was gonna say I'm gonna wrap you guys up.
Okay.
Let me go to
Final thoughts.
the blue
I have
card.
so
Let's
many
do,
more stories.
let's
though. We
just
didn't get
sa-
to half of the blue card.
come back whenever
You're
you
gonna have
want.
to come back then.
All right. All right. Twist my arm.
What's going on here? All right,
I
thank
like
you to
it.
everybody. First of all, thank you to Justin Scard over here. Is that your real name?
Yeah.
Scard?
No, Willits.
Oh, that's right.
But Scarred stuck because the
band.
and then there was like 5 Justins. Justin Havoc, Justin this, Justin Scarred. And that was just all my handles already. I never
Yeah.
thought anyone would watch this videos. Are you kidding?
Amen. I know.
I was like, who's going to watch this?
Well, thank you to you. Thank you to Babes in Classics over there, producer Ariel. Is there anything we're plugging this evening?
I like Ariel. I love
Thank
that.
you.
It's like,
Thank
ooh,
you.
Ariel.
Yeah.
Yes, she's very fancy.
It sounds very...
She is very fancy.
It
also.
sounds fancy, and she matches it. So it works.
She is. She
Double
does.
works.
She also. I wasn't kidding. She's a sex coach. We didn't talk about sex tonight, but
Whoa!
sometimes
Usually we do.
that comes
Usually,
up.
that's what we talk
We really want to see Jay get uncomfortable.
That's on the late
The
Late
Night
But I
Playset.
do want to
Yeah.
plug that the Distinguished Gentleman's Drive is coming up
Wait.
on September 28th, and you can now register. So go to gentleman'sdrive.com.
What does that mean? Gentleman's Drive? Is that like Gentleman's Club? Or see, now I always grew up wanting to go to a gentleman's club because I thought we were going to get mustaches. It'd be like Sherlock Holmes, there'd be a bunch of men reading like, "Yes, welcome to the club."
Tails and a
Closer
cane.
to
So
that
as a
than-
kid, you drive around and see Fritz 2 Gentleman Club right by Disneyland. I always thought that's what that was in there. So I always thought one day I'm going to go in there.
Well, it's similar.
Then it turned out it was
drive
something
dapper.
else.
You can wear a mustache if you'd like to. But
Okay.
it's all for Movember, so it's all
Yeah.
classic
Nobody's
cars.
nude?
I was.
Nobody's
Oh,
nude,
okay, good.
unfortunately.
I was the lead car
There's a
last
lead
year.
car.
I'm very uncomfortable.
It was very
with-
exciting.
with nudity for some reason.
No, there's no nudity.
No nudity.
No. But I'm saying, so like a friend of mine put on this show. He puts it, it's still going to every year in downtown. LA,
If
puts
you
on
get
a show.
uncomfortable with nudity, she could literally make
It's
you.
called
I can help you.
Exoticon, and he puts on this show, right? And it's like tiki stuff and whatever. And I went to be a vendor at it, and so I'm promoting it. I'm going to be there.
What was it, DomCon?
Exoticon.
Exoticon.
And
okay.
then like more than half of it's burlesque. And I'm like,
I used to own a burlesque. Nicole and I used to own a burlesque show.
like I enjoyed the female form, but I didn't know where to look and what to do. And I was
Tiki
like,
and burlesque are like
I
this.
found out I
I
was
know,
so
we're so awkward.
uncomfortable.
I know,
I
me
found
too.
out like
Me
this
too.
is just not my world. I'm so uncomfortable. I don't
like it either.
I can't even look at myself nude. So I'm like,
Well, if you ever want help with that, hit me
My
up.
my friend Spike, he's got go-go dancers in the Hula Girls, a band that's playing July 11th
Gonna
at
run that
Landers
videotape.
Liquor Club, and even them I know them, and I've told them I don't know where to look at. You guys are dancing the little coconuts and stuff, and
You
the
can
grass
look at them.
skirts, and they're like, "Look at us! You're
They're
supposed to look at
performing.
us," and I'm like, I can't.
I had all of that.
Yeah,
I have it less
Yeah.
now, but I had all of that when it
Yeah.
came to that. My first time, I had to be tricked into one of those
See?
places, and I got in, and they took the ID, and we got up and around the bend, and I said to Kaz Danbury Chive, I go, Steve, I pulled him on the jacket. I go, Steve. He goes, what? He turns around. He goes, what? And I go, there's naked ladies in here.
Yeah, I've never been into a full naked one, but I feel like I would melt. I just go, I don't know.
This was is called the Mardi Gras in Springfield, Massachusetts.
I've been to Springfield.
Agawam?
Well, we are not going to hear the story now.
No time. Sorry.
I'm cutting you off.
I've been to Worcester too, playing in an abandoned shack out there.
Oh, I forgot you toured. Yeah, so you really have.
Was too, and I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, are they going to hit 215 also?
Brandon,
we gotta
I could
hit
talk,
215 now.
I could go with Brandon for days. I mean, like, I really want to host.
Oh,
a
I gotta
podcast
beat
with
Brandon.
him.
I'm sorry, we can't.
I don't
quit
think
now.
it was Brandon's. It was Paul Kennel. We went.
Oh,
215.
Paul Kennel. Okay, my bad.
Because he had cancer.
How long
what
did
do
you
you
go?
got?
I got celiac disease.
So does he.
I got a
So you're
lousy
gonna need more than that.
Dang it! I'll never beat
Do you have to
Paul.
take medicine for your celiac? He's on
No,
like all
there's no
sorts of.
medication for me. It's just
Really?
no gluten and very careful about cross contamination. And then just because you roached your insides your whole life before you're diagnosed,
Yes. So
you
because
just have to be
Yeah.
really careful what you eat and not to eat things that are very different than what you have been eating, or just throw you all off. Yeah.
everything you said, but I asked about the medication because he's got to take like liquid morphine drops or some kind of liquid.
God, I wish I could
tincture
do that.
that-
and all
that
the pain
helps
would
his
go away. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
All right. I guess not. Okay, so thank you to you. Thank you to Brandon up in Canada there. BC DeLorean, give him a follow. Is it BC DeLorean on everything?
Yeah, everything's BC DeLorean.
YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
All the above.
No, me and Brandon aren't talking because
Are you on
he's
Friendster?
not coming with his dad next week, so we have a beef now.
Oh, now
Because I was excited to hang out with Brandon, and now it's ruined.
So just Kevin's coming down.
Who? Oh
And
yeah,
my
just
mom-
Kevin
and my mom.
and his wife
Oh.
Lisa, right?
Oh.
Lisa?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lisa.
she's a lovely
Yeah.
lady. They gave me that key. You know, the 70th anniversary of this key. It's a whole thing. Never mind. They gave me that key. It was like $70.
Thank you to Robby Retro. Give Robby Retro a follow. We've got MC3 Films, who has been shooting still photography in here all night. Thank you, buddy.
Make sure to edit out this.
I think that's the perfect part.
I was eating a lot of chips on the way here.
Is that what it is?
It
You were up
really
at City Walk.
Just like eating chips.
What's still up at City Walk? Gladstone's
Not
is gone.
much.
Hard Rock gone?
Hard Rock's gone. Thing from Another World is
Boca
still
de
there.
Beppo's gone?
Boca de Beppo's still there.
Oh, it is?
Peppo, there's there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you to everybody for watching at home.
It's sugar.
Next week, okay, so here's the thing. I went to breakfast the other day with Paul Kennel, who was in that chair, and we ran into Fritz Coleman, who is a former weatherman here on Channel 4. He's going to come in and do the show maybe next
Heck
week.
yeah.
He's got his own podcast called Media Path Pod, and we've been following each other for a while. When I moved out here, Fritz Coleman was a big deal. It was Paul Moyer
I
was on the
remember.
news, Kent Schocknick,
Kent Schocknick.
and Michelle, whatever the girl,
Who else
and
was I telling you earlier should be on here?
and Fritz Coleman did the weather, and he's a stand-up comedian as well. So Fritz Coleman will probably be here next week, I think.
I'll be,
If
and
not,
I'll be back as well.
Ariel and I, you should come in anytime. Ariel and I have to have a meeting,
got
but we're going to
two
do some
chairs.
more. I know, but that's for Siskel and Ebert.
Oh, okay. You can't get one of them.
Neither one. They're both.
Oh,
dead.
they're right.
But that was Dave's old joke. Why are there two chairs? Well, one answer: Siskel and Ebert.
There you go. Okay.
Is that it?
That's it.
We went to 216,
Porsche Life,
right?
Late Night Playset.
Did I win?
You won. You won.
Aloha from
You
Porsche
won.
Parade. And Gunnar from Aloha from Hawaii is actually in
Oh, shit.
Oklahoma City here with Lori Schultz and Tony Callis.
Oh my
Shout out to
God.
Tony
Where's
Callis and
Mark
Callis
from?
Rensport Racing. Watching local street traffic go by. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Troy France, who built the Mama Fratelli's Jeep up in Gooniesville.
Oh, that's that Troy?
Hey, I just popped in real quick to see what's going on. I'll
That
probably
dude's
take off in a
cool.
minute for dinner. Great to see you, Troy.
Bon appetit.
Same here. There's Dave from the jail up there.
Dave was
Oregonian
cool.
Dave.
Oregonian.
Yeah, Orgunian Dave.
I wouldn't fit in those chairs, says Dustin. Yes, you would. Chris Farley fit in those chairs. So did Ebert. You'll be fine. All right, we love everybody
I
at
have
home.
to say though, having Chris Farley sat in this chair, right? And,
Uh-huh.
and he filled it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I am also filling the chair, so now I'm feeling a little bit like, oh,
They're magical. No,
either
no,
he
they're
was
just
smaller than I thought, or I'm getting bigger than I thought.
You'll have to watch that clip too. And the
I need to
producer
watch
who
all
produced
of
that segment and the one where whatever, all of those segments, Daniel Kellison is going to be in here.
We got to
too.
get Drew Barrymore in here because this just.
Do you think she would like that?
I think she'd love to stay.
Should it be on my birthday?
Yes.
Terrible. All right.
Wait,
Thank
wait,
you for
wait,
the book.
One,
What'd you
one
write in
more
the
time.
book?
One more time.
What?
Let me see.
Oh.
Just
Yeah, go ahead. What'd you write in the book?
I told you what I wrote in there.
You did not write all that. You better not have. Oh, my God, you really did?
I said you're my.
Oh,
Jay
no, you
Leno.
said you're my Jay Leno.
You're my Jay Leno.
But you.
I'm going on Jay's show.
But you don't
see?
like Jay Leno. You like Conan and
Well,
Letterman.
Conan, Letterman, Leno. For me,
So I'm your third favorite podcast.
who's actually the best? Leno, Conan are like, or Letterman and Conan are like
I agree. Keep
they're,
going.
They're
but not,
neck and neck.
But it's not.
But Letterman was such an original, like one of the few, like Howard Stern or one of those people that changed everything. So
Agreed.
like you gotta say, it's like saying, well, what's the best Star Wars movie? It's like Empire Strikes Back. It's not my favorite though.
I didn't
Return
want
of
you
the
to
Jedi is my
answer the
favorite.
question legitimately.
So
My
Conan
point
is
was,
my
I'm
favorite.
not.
No, but that's why it's funny.
Oh,
Because
this is
obviously you like
because you're a jokester
Let me
with your
explain the
volume
joke.
one.
You won.
Volume one.
Let me explain the joke here. You're
my
my
God.
Jay Leno.
Great show, guys and gal. Love popping in. Thanks for the shout out. We love you guys. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for watching at home. Please love one another. Get that off there. And we'll see you out there. All right. Good night.
I almost did something else. I almost kept it going. See how good I am at that? See how good I am? I'm just like, let's keep going. It's my one skill.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
too bad that content and media has changed so much. Because if it were 20 years ago, I feel like I got a valuable skill, right? I could be on the radio, just fill time. Oh, I want to be behind the desk. I want to. Look, I'm in Hollywood. Brandon! You're in the picture.
All right, look at me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, I actually brought this